playing for. Big implications if they end up winning it potentially. Obviously, later match that's going to be played today is going to be playing a part in this one. But
look at
the one and done angle. You got to clear this. You got to clear this. But look at the patience that's being played, and there's kills. Okay, they flood through. There's going to be that response. Melza doesn't get away with too much more. Jake also pushing it out, and this is confidence boundless from Cloud9 off the rip. Maybe a little bit too much so. One singular leaf. One step too far because Davies has been opened up and offered an opportunity. Spikes drop down though. Tick, tick, tick with the alarm bot. We'll see. Jiggle with the movements. 2 bullets, not enough to get it done.
Great try.
So damn close. Yeah, nice try by Davies, but it is Cloud9 who take that first pistol round.
If he picks up a frenzy there that has more bullets in it, he's won the 1v3.
Yeah.
And a fabulous 1v3 it would have been. Alas, not the world that we live in, as Jake collects. And Cloud9, they looked very solid there on the pistol round up until the final moments from Davies, but they very quickly dealt with what KRU were going for in B, and a very sneaky play by Zelsis too.
Let's go.
When last we saw KRU on this map, it was a scrappy engagement against Sentinels, very back and forth. Also, KRU really struggled to really throw Sentinels off the scent. Whenever they went into an area, it was getting red. And I fear that the same is going to happen here, especially against Leaf. He's so active on the map, gets a ton of information. And he just always seems to be in the right place. He's already kind of read the B pressure, moving over towards C. Anywhere KRU go, Leaf is going to be there, watching, waiting.
Yeah, it's one of the big benefits you get when you play the Neon on this map.
She run very fast.
Yep, exactly. She can sprint. None of the agents can.
Yeah.
Over the Neon. So she can rotate very effectively, even though the map is quite large. Very aggressive angle by Jake to be holding that one, but he gets his head ripped off in return. It's Kesnet. Maybe a bit of an opening, but again, it's quite a lot to traverse. Even if you get that opening kill towards there, you can't really scale very quickly off of that.
40 seconds, and yes, you're right. They're going to have to play slowly, but they've given Kesnet a Vandal. And that is a massive tool for him to be able to use.
Yeah.
Even if this just becomes damaging, you take some of the sting out of it for next round from Cloud9.
It's worth noting as well, Kesnet, he gets going early with the confidence. It's a dangerous player to really hand the rifle over to. Grouped up now, the high tide flash through, doesn't actually connect, but Davies is there. Sheriff in his hands. A watchful eye of his teammates, guarding his back, stun. Drop to defeat, dodged for now, but still they're going to be swarming the position. Zelsis helping them out. Kesnet's still alive. Dash is active though. Be fading any minute now. Bit of a spray down, drop to 30 health. This is dangerous, and this is looking more than dangerous. It's bloody well won. That's KRU on a thrifty, light investments, but wonderful openings, getting that plant down, and Cloud9 a bit of a fumble there when it comes to trying to retake.
I mean, some great shots here though.
Fantastic shots.
Davies not just with the Ghost in the first round, but also hitting a Sheriff shot. You know, Nags with 2 towards the end as well, coming back into this roster and helping them convert that. You also saw Kesnet get the first kill with the Sheriff. He's always going to be at the front. He's taking so many of this team's first fights. 38% of their first kills come from Kesnet. Ridiculous.
Deep now, Cascade.
Kesnet also has the most first deaths in America.
He's very all in.
We won't talk about that part while he's doing well.
It reminds me of myself.
Feast or famine in the first 10 seconds of the round.
Yeah, I mean, I like to play Jet like that as well. It's the most fun way to play.
I think he thinks so.
2 players grouped up here. You can see Jake and Zeppa. Now, worth noting, despite the fact that Cloud9 did lose that and they're knocked down to the thrifty, said it before many, many times, but they are one of the best teams at converting when they're on the weaker guns. Stun comes through.
Usually
be aware
with the stingers, though, isn't it?
Yeah, usually with the stingers, but maybe they can get a bit more done potentially. There is that one kill, but eventually as the Viper Orb does go down, Jake's position revealed. And so control of A main again, slowed down to a bit of a crawl, but as the Viper Wall goes down, that's going to be on cooldown, and it gives that opportunity now for KRU to start to move up.
The door opened, and Zelsis in a bit of trouble.
Seconds left.
Yeah,
calls for the Viper Wall to come up. and makes a play.
Right click.
Just right clicks Nags, and now he's got a Bulldog.
He's got an upgrade.
And these are the kind of plays that allow Cloud9 to win these with some level of regularity. That is going to force the lockdown out of Davies too. 3 Vandals against a Spectre, a Sheriff, and a Bulldog.
Davies getting this one as well. Round 3 is absurd. I didn't even realize. But it does buy them that bit of extra time, and Leaf, well, he tries to get out of there. Tried to be covered as well. That was Zelsis holding the angle so that Leaf couldn't be punished. But a cleanup left up to Rooney. He's a demon with the Sheriff, but this might be a little bit too much for him to take on. Indeed it is. So KRU taking a lead early on in this map. Showcasing as well that anything can happen in the Americas despite the on-paper expectations. Cloud9 looking like the best team in the Americas. KRU currently winless and hunting for that first one.
And KRU have had a lot of close games. They've had tons of these matches go to 3. They've had their chances at upsetting even the teams right at the top. The game against Loud was close, but they are still winless. You know, they've managed to get it close a lot, but in terms of getting it across the line, this team has just consistently failed to do so. And they would love a win here. It wouldn't do anything for their playoff hopes. They do a lot for their mental, though, I think. You don't want to join DFM in the winless club at the end of the season.
Just that last bit of shred of pride. Gave it your all in the split. He came out with at least a result. 1 win still. Off angle by Nags, that's cleared.
The read on the game is just superb from Leaf.
Yeah.
It looks like he's just walking into Nags there, but the pre-aim is perfect. Here come the Seekers.
Trying to pop through. There's a flash that does connect there, and again, you can see Cascade ripping forwards, buying a bit of that space as well, pushing back anyone who might be looking to defend this one.
Everyone on C9's here, though, ready to flood.
Yeah, they've already rotated. The plan's going to start to go down. This is a big opportunity because it means they can take fights when they should be favored. Davies with 3, ripping them through, spraying it down. Zeppa, he tries to return the fire, and he does indeed, leaving it to the one-on-one. Jake versus Klaus. The tap of the spike. Klaus left, guessing where is his opponent.
Another tap.
And Jake just cold, isn't it? Ice cold. Letting it out now, playing the time. Plant stuck though, gets it into that post-plant position, situation, comes down to it, doesn't it? First shot landing for Klaus. And an adjustment of the aim. It looked like he wasn't even aiming in that area. That's just reactions.
Well played to close things out there, but it's Davies that I'm looking at. He used a lockdown just recently, and he's almost got his 2nd lockdown online by the time round 5 comes.
Show me this 3-piece that he gets here. Oh my
That is
God.
so clean. The crosshair placement is beautiful onto the 3rd kill as well. The player that's up on the high ground.
Yeah.
And the slightly wider swing the first time.
And Cloud9, look at this read from them. I mean, it's just been contact plays, but Cloud9 opting into a stack onto the A side.
Here.
Stingers, Sheriffs, Celtics with the lockdown. Lots of potential for this to go wrong for KRU if they choose to commit. And it looks like they are just doing that. Wasn't really a poke and prod for the information. And Kesnet will fall. First one in. First one to fall. The pivot. Breaking the door now. Gotta be careful of this one. They don't know that B's cleared. It's gonna be that U-tilt. Hard at least to spot that contact. Trailblazer clearing through most of this one, but they should be able to get this plant down.
But look how quickly Zelsis and Jake rotated all the way through spawn. And they put down the lockdown instantly.
Yeah.
Just stopping them.
And which direction do you go now? On a swivel, 34 seconds left. All the time just being broken down here, and they know that they're being corralled into the seaside. It's just Cloud9 hot on the trail, hunting them out, sniffing them out, flash through. Find a bit of space into the back of the site. There's a return on the fire. Davies still lands it. And there's a lockdown. Another one in play. Why not? Zephano still moving forward to the help of his team. Damage being done. David spraying it through. It's up to Nags. And the lockdown's not broken. The lockdown's not broken. It's just about time. Few seconds left. 6 on the board. Spike not retrievable. He needs to kill to win it. Nags it knows it. He's hunting. He's running. But Rooney makes the percentage play.
And that's such a classic Cloud9 Thrifty round coming through. The 2 with Sheriffs, the 3 with Stingers, and everywhere the crew went, Cloud9 knew what was happening. The Cloud9 players are like sheepdogs. They are out there herding crew around the map, and they're one step ahead at all times. The lockdown to funnel, the stack on A funnels them into B. The lockdown funnels them into C. And you've got players on site before crew are even there. The read is excellent, the play from Zephyr too. And frankly, Davies still did an amazing job at keeping that one close. By finding that initial kill, I think he got 2 in the round, and putting a lockdown in, he made it winnable for his squad. Just not quite enough.
I think even more credit as well to Cloud9. They've said in interviews in the past, you know, what makes them so good at the Thrifty rounds, what makes them so good at the ecos, and it's because they treat them with as much seriousness as a lot of the rounds where they're buying guns. You know, they're really going into it not expecting it to be a throwaway round. You could kind of see that in the way that they were setting up there as well. It's a small thing, but Zels has had his setup with the turret and then the nanoswarm in a common plan position to buy even more time. And that's that foresight where they're thinking, okay, we'll go for the A stack, stack it with bodies, push them back. But if they go into B, we have time to delay them. They're ready for it. They're thinking ahead like that.
Yeah, it's a very smart team, and I think another part that sometimes gets glossed over is how coordinated this squad is in terms of their trading. And when you're all running with the Stingers, that trading actually becomes even more important and in sync. Because they descend upon the crew players like a swarm. Still though, crew in the lead. And Cloud9 have only won rounds off the pistol and the Thrifty. So gun rounds yet to be finding any value for this Cloud9 squad. Triple push up here over towards Mound as they take some control of this part of the map early on. They're fine to allow crew into A because that's where Zelsis is holding.
With their setup.
Having said that though, Brent, the crew players are close to a lot of big ultimates. Is this punishable?
I mean, a stun connects, but nearly. Can't quite get onto the angle. It's just too much distance.
So 1 away from major ultimates, and that was Melzer. So he was 1 away from his Reckoning. They went and farmed the A orb. They've got that online, and that could be very helpful for them. Either to get into the A site and ensure they get a plant down, or to play the post plant. However, we saw this a lot in the crew game against Sentinels. They make a ton of noise on one area of the map, and then they don't go anywhere. And crew are just kind of slow and indecisive at this point.
Yeah, and it's Cloud9 who are the complete opposite. Look at this, a decision to push through into mid. Davies watches though, and collects. Nanoswarm to try and prevent the punish, but it's a wide swing. Jake does return that fire, pushing forwards. Kesnet landing it, the Reckoning to try and clear through onto that B side a little bit prior, but 30 seconds left. Spike needs to be planted.
And this was a decent bait out of crew, although Jake's picked up the lurker and Celsius through the smoke.
Not quite favored there as well when you're jumping up onto Heaven. Cove blocking that site for now. It's a 2 versus 3. And this flank timing coming all the way around. Kesnet, he sniffed a portion of it out and he lands the shot. Great movement. Dash. Now online. Chooses to enable it now, but he's low. Has to go for the heal here. Still, both players are going to be noted at least. There's a spray down. 1 for the 1. Kesnet. 4 in the round, and he wins it out for crew.
That's where you see the trademark Kesnet aggression coming through perfectly. He goes for the swing there way before most players would. And he's trying to time it with Zelsis getting that first fake tap on the spike. Just works perfectly. The timing exactly there. I'll tell you what, Cloud9 are giving away a lot of potential picks of these peeks through. So the first one from Leaf, and then also from Zephyr there, going through the smoke before Rooney did. Just looking slightly less coordinated today than we've seen from them previously. And it's offering these openings where the crew players are capitalizing on it. Here's a big clash potentially to start the round over at B. They've spotted Leaf.
Oh, the diligence. No, not enough. They don't span it all the way. Leaf, though, he takes the peak, he takes the angle, and takes the fight, but loses. And it is those Frenzy, Sheriffs, Classics, whatever, the pistols being used by Cloud9. Crew, as long as they slow this down and play with a bit of discipline, should be able to contain. Big ults online as well that they can start to work towards. Probably not going to be necessary to use them in this round, though. 50 seconds left. Now, the point you brought up earlier as well, Josh, about how slow crew tend to play a lot of these beginnings of the rounds without taking too much control. I end up biting them. We'll find out, though. Seekers will be used. Push them back through the site. How is Zelsis getting that with a classic? And it's being locked out right now. I mean, just really bogged down, trying to wade their way in. Cloud9 have already been given all the information to stack in. There's the Cove. Safe plant available for them, though. Util pushing round. That's vulnerable, that Melzer. He'll fall. Viper's Pit now has to be committed, and this could be disastrous for crew right now. Committing all these ultimates against the Eco, it is really quite dangerous. Where's the post-plant positioning? Davies has got to do the most from this angle because he is one of that final line of defense, but wow! Ranger's control of the rifle. Rooney with 2.
He got a collat with the shot.
And now an opening, a window, an opportunity. Turret spotting that contact. Rooney trying to bait it low enough, and Rooney wins it. That's just miraculous. How are you pulling that through?
I feel for Davies. I really do. That's the second thrifty clutch that we've seen from Cloud9. They've won the pistol round and 2 thrifties at this point. It's just getting silly.
Yeah.
It's just silly. And the fact that Rooney gets it with somehow a collat, I believe inside the Viper's Pit, with a Sheriff, he just lines 2 heads up. No idea how.
Bizarre.
That's the kind of miraculous nonsense that we sometimes see from them.
I mean, for crew, that is just ridiculous.
What is that?
Yeah, it's like light work. Intended. Intended.
Yeah, I meant to do that, boys. Don't look at the replay. Don't
worry about it. Don't worry about it at all. But that is a heartbreaker for crew because heavy investment with the ultimates. It was their buy round against another thrifty, and they dropped the ball.
And now they themselves push down to a thrifty here, crew. The positive side of it, the silver lining, is that Davies has his 3rd lockdown by round 8.
Yeah, that's... I mean, you just don't see that.
No.
If he ends up using it, I mean, by this point, round 8, we're going to be seeing, what, 4 lockdowns being used?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
At this point in the game?
They're not even farming the orbs onto him, as far as I've seen.
He's just been collecting the kills.
Yeah, maybe I've missed that. Maybe he's been going for the B1 frequently or something, but he's just been fragging.
Kesnet, usually going to be the spearhead for the team. This time, a lot of independence being showcased. He's not being set up on this angle. He's just lurking his way through.
And it is interesting, when crew cut noise like this, Leaf tends to rotate C.
Off angle for Jake. Doesn't win the fight. Damage done. There's a heal. It's there to immediately replenish. It's a rifle that's not retrievable up into heaven. Still needs to watch this one. High tide, safe plant. Now there's a lockdown, okay. In play, angle watched, Zelsis. Head ripped off. Are we gonna see just back-to-back thrifties? It's looking almost inevitable at this point. That prowess on display. Flash at the tail end of it as well, just delays just that bit extra time. Crew with all the control as well of every single extremity. Kesnet wants to go for a little bit more. Why not? Assistance from his team brings them all down. It is the back-to-back thrifties, Josh. This is just bonkers. This is just bonkers.
And now you've got Cloud9 on a thrifty as well. And we've seen what they've done in the past. I don't think we're going to see these teams win a gun round for the rest of the half. It's ludicrous. It's a ridiculous game on Lotus so far, but it favors crew. The back and forth, and the fact that it's, you know, it's a bit scrappy and chaotic is definitely leaning heavily towards the underdog team here. Davies, 16 kills in 8 rounds.
Close. Oh, it's a double space. Well, almost lined themselves up, but it is very good. Regimented with the peak, taking out 2 of the players, and it's typically where you see teams fall short, not being able to trade out effectively when Cloud9 maybe get that opening pick, but no, this is really quite nicely contained.
It definitely is.
No dodging time there from Nags, but yeah, team's got his back, don't they? Look at that firing line. Waiting in spawn. denying the chance of picking up the rifle, but they do have to give up that space at some point, so Zelsis should be able to pick up an upgrade. Kesnet's still watching.
KRU are definitely ready for this kind of stuff, though. Obviously, Nags gets caught out by the pop flash play, but the fact that all three of those B players drop back, waiting for Cloud9 to push, rather than taking those 2 kills and immediately going to plant on B, shows that KRU are really trying to slow the pace down and find these avenues to the openings.
He's desperate for this rifle. That is the widest swing in the world. I mean, it's just gone on a marathon. He's like, please, just let me pick up this gun. But no, it's watched. KRU, very good awareness.
And they're up to 6.
That.
This is already a really good half. Normally, Cloud9's ability to play with the Neon and rotate and be preemptive against every team they've faced on Lotus has worked. It's always worked. And here, that slightly slower style from KRU is almost baiting out the rotates. But frankly, I mean, look at MC's face. Listen, if this was earlier on in the season, you would not be seeing that reaction.
No.
So I think that tells you a little bit about the attitudes coming into the game. Again, remember, for all the stuff that we hyped up, like Cloud9 can potentially take the #1 seed, they would also need Leviathan to beat Loud.
Yeah.
And that has not looked likely recently.
Double face, double fight, taken towards it. Zephyr
Ready.
swings to just return it. So it's a 4 versus 4.
Toxins going up.
Early skirmish. And either way, through this time looking for a bit of exploration towards C as well. Only Rooney left to watch this one, and it's again KRU just contacting. This time though, Reckoning doesn't clear this corner. Smoke in the face. There it is, landing a shot, snakebite as well. That rebounded, he kicked it. It didn't even vulnerable anymore. Still, eventually applies it, but Melzer, he returns.
Look at Nags. Look at where he is in spawn currently.
Oh, I mean, are you going to anticipate this ever? Well, lockdown.
But also, Melzer can't get the spike down at this point because he's got nobody to help him and a lockdown in his face. Thankfully, because Nags is feeding him all of this information about the positioning of the defenders, he can just full rotate to A, and now Nags left to contain. The Cloud9 anticipate it at all?
Get cleared. No one's watching it. Jake's looking behind, expecting it.
Great look.
Through mid. Great look. Time is taken. KRU leading.
Now, here's a bonkers stat for you, Bren. Leaf now has 4 first deaths. He's 2 and 10 on the Neon currently. That is just so different from what we've seen. And with that 4th first death, KRU now holds the record for the team that's killed Leaf's Neon first the most on Lotus. Every other team that's played against Cloud9 on Lotus, they can't stop this guy. Leaf is taking first engagements and rolling them over. He was 5-1 against MIBR, 8-3 against Leviathan. Right now, he's got his 4th first death. I mean, it's been a very, very different game from Cloud9 here on Lotus.
A rare drop in performance for him so far.
And yeah, it doesn't really matter for their season if he does poorly here, but you don't want him slowing down going into playoffs when he looks like the best player in Americas.
Again, it looks like KRU have a great read on how Cloud9 want to be playing when they've got the Stingers in their hands. They're so proactive with how they want to fight over a significant area of the map as well, and they are just chasing them down. They absorb the aggression, they take a better fight, and they hunt them down when the retreat is active.
They're navigating the aggression from Cloud9 very, very well. And they're also baiting the rotates out quite nicely too. This is definitely going to be one where, you know, if KRU are able to get the victory here on Lotus and close things out with the way that they're playing, it looks like they could. People are going to be scratching their heads a little bit.
Yeah.
Because Cloud9 looked like the best team in Americas on this map. And maybe they will be when it comes to playoffs too. Hard to tell with games like this.
Double face, nice movement from Zephyr, but
as far as duels
not
go,
anticipating Melzer swinging from that particular direction. So 8-3, one more round in this half. KRU, this is an absolutely blitzing pace, isn't it?
It really is. Because when you're able to win these first engagements so often, it unleashes Kesnet. Normally, Kesnet feels like he has to carry in the first opening moments. He throws himself into difficult situations to try and put his team into a 5v4. And he actually only wins them about 45% of the time. He's not great in the first fights, even though he takes them all the time. But when you play slow like this, and then he can use the mid-round, he and Davies are farming.
Davies has gone off. Watching for the C push here, but there's going to be this brawl occurring towards Ruins in the smokes. This way. That way! No way!
It got two! Ridiculous!
Lined them up. Pure luck. Flip of a coin. And it's a huge advantage.
He goes in there and dominates the smoke very early on. And look, KRU don't use those 2 picks to try and explode into a different area of the map. They know that there was another player around here, and they're going to make sure to clear out Jake first.
Jake has got so much to do in this position, but you know, when this first fight gets taken, there's going to be 2 more players behind it, just like that. Trailblazer, the double face, the double swing, Kesnick. I mean, kill after kill. Snakebite though, drop down, that's going to be what was that, the Viper's Pit, just to try and push them away here. Rooney commits that one, but look at his positioning. I mean, he's given up already because he knows that they're trying to take the B side. This pit will be falling, and 40 seconds still left in this high tide, blocking. All that vision, Cove. Still holding the smokes though. Ensuring that nobody pushes through it. Get themselves into that post plant.
1 enemy remaining.
At this point, KRU slam dunk set up for that 9-3. Zelsis would have to pull off a miracle, not happening in the slightest. Domination from KRU. The first half here, setting themselves up.
Switching sides.
That potential map 1 win.
A spectacular start to this match from KRU. Everything they tried went well, and Cloud9 could not get a read on what was going on.
No.
They were sending it into smokes, going for pushes. It definitely felt whimsical from Cloud9, but in a way where they got their wrists smacked every time they went for something.
Yeah, really, KRU just doing an amazing job of punishing all of that. But first half is going to be wrapped up here for Lotus. I mean, MCE. Laughing at only rounds that he ended up picking up in that half, really off the back of, you know, the pistol and the thrifty wins. It was those gun rounds, as he mentioned, that really need to get picked up here. But we're heading into the second half. KRU
Here.
on the defensive side. Typically, I will, listen, throw a bit of cope out there. Map trends a bit attack-sided if you are a Cloud9 fan.
Yeah, a bit. Not usually 9-3.
And so this is a difficult task indeed. Leaf, first contact, first fight taken. But it's a battle, a brawl. But backing away here, KRU get chunked down there. A lot of that decay damage. Healed up, I believe, as well there by Klaus. Already making moves. It's a quick, agile adjustment. Trailblazer now going to be clearing into the C site. They spot, I believe, 3 players. Really high value off of that one. And they know that it's going to be cleared out most likely. So site can be taken by Cloud9 now.
I love this call from Cloud9. They saw 4 players pushing out B, and then they see 3 in Waterfall. Means they can take C for free. They also hear no killjoy utility. Whereas usually those 4-1 pistol rounds are going to be leaving you KJ. That's a headshot onto Rooney though.
Yeah. Chunked down into the post plant.
They're going for Waterfall aggression.
Really proactive.
Actually.
They want to fight this. Cove, though, to try and get the entry into the site. That's KRU just layering that one down. How do they want to push through this one? High Tide, interesting. Splits up the site into 2 areas. Jake, he's going to hold this one down. He's going to know he's being pushed and pressured. 2 remain still. Celsius, last one left, last one standing. Finalizes it. So, it's going to be that pistol round game for Cloud9. Maybe the start of something. A bit of momentum that they can get onto their side. Now, they won the pistol in the first half as well. Par for the course. Just got to keep it clean throughout.
Yeah. I don't want to see a 9-3 curse here, Brent.
Yeah?
I don't want to see it. KRU played so well in the first half. Davies and Kesnick were absolute monsters. They've had such a trouble this entire season with closing games out. I don't want to see it again.
It can't happen again.
And I'm saying that early because of the quality of Cloud9, right? If this was 2 teams that have been at similar levels throughout the split, then obviously KRU is still massively favored. But so far, they have been the better team today. And as Cloud9 takes a mount control, there are 3 players here waiting to collect.
Into the back of the site. Heavy amount of bullets there with a right click. Leaf drop down. Davies is there. Shorty up close through the choke point. Flash. It's a good connection. Yet Zeppa. Oh my goodness. Makes a Stinger look like a rifle. Never seen somebody get so many multi-kills of that one. Kesnick going to do his best now to see if he can do any more damage to the economy, but they'll fall. 3 players surviving here for Cloud9. Get the plant money online as well, so leading into it should be a relatively strong bonus.
Leaf just keeps getting abused in these entry positions. He's 3 and 14 currently. This is going to knock his stats down significantly. He was sat up at the top of Americas. But even on the entry here, Davies' classic right click, just all of the bullets were magnetized towards Leaf's body and he ended up falling down. And now we see a rifle round. Cloud9 have not won any of these. They won 2 pistols, an anti-eco, and 2 thrifties.
They're actually just, investing into this one. There won't be a traditional bonus, not keeping that economy in check. Fighting it. Skirmish towards Ruins. An exchange of the bullets here as the Viper wall is going to be giving a bit of a pause and a break. However, door opens. Was that Kesnet opening that?
Kesnet just ran forward, opened the door, and backed up like, come on, push me.
Okay, he's feeling confident. Smoke to split it up, though. Dog's going to be meeting each other's gaze and walking right past each other. Now the Seekers, this is a play. See if they can try and fake that they are trying to hit into that A site. The rest of the team grouped up now, moving forwards through onto the B site. That's Cloud9 taking that space. Heaven control is going to be theirs. The plan's going to go down without anything to really push this one back. KRU are giving them a ton of respect.
Yeah, perhaps a little too much. Cloud9 are going to be very proactive. And instead of fighting through spawn, they've decided to take this contest at the breakable door. 3 players around here, and Klaus's flash or his Trailblazer would be imperative in this spot, and he doesn't have either.
Yeah, they just used the flash to clear through into Ruins, grouped up and sprayed down. Zephyr as well, holding down. You can hear the movement, can hear the evacuation attempt by Nags as he looks to hold on to the gun, but he will not get it.
There, gotta go.
No one keeping that one. Leaf has really just been the sacrificial lamb this entire damn map. He'll fall. Davies is being set up. Absolute world-class game in terms of the stats, padding it, but round win for Cloud9, leading. And the money broken for KRU, so drop down to the weaker guns here.
The peak, I mean, is so funny. It's like Celsius in the first half, where he's running the marathon to go for the wide peak.
It's so wide here.
But yeah, this recontest back through from KRU, it doesn't quite work. Wow, really, Jake? Both teams invested into that round, so it's going to knock KRU down onto a thrifty. They won a couple in the first half. If you remember, it wasn't just Cloud9. Both teams were going back and forth on it. Mostly off the back of big sheriff shots from Davies and Kesnet, neither of which have a sheriff in their hands at the moment, actually. But they're going for that mound push. Saw this from Cloud9 a couple of times.
And there's nothing to really meet it other than the turret. No bodies to catch this push. Turret at Cloud9 now grouped up towards Ruins. So they rate the turret, anticipating there could be somebody behind it, but they might swing off of it, but no, giving up that space, opting fully now into the site. Leaf's already taken the back of it. And he might be meeting as well the presence.
Down A.
Sheriff singing there for Melza. Good kill to collect. Spike has to be planted, but a player disadvantage. Evened out now. Really being pushed onto the flank. Rooney will do his best here. Got the backup with the rest of his team as well. Watching a lot of those angles. Davies, this is a man unleashed. I mean, a performance from him we haven't seen in quite some time. Melza landing in as well. Now the player disadvantage swings to the other side of things. Cloud9, a proactive play indeed as they're trying to push up through into heaven.
He saw them both.
Another of them, and yet information granted. A tap onto the spike. Kesnet could have potentially got half of it. Chooses to take the fight anyway. Leaves it to Davies. Wallbang spam through. Headshot. No stun connecting. 50 health though, and a single bullet that might just be enough. Half onto the fuse. Doesn't know where he is. Lands it anyway. Monstrous by Davies.
This kind of game from Davies as he secures a Red Bull clutch and goes up to who knows how many kills in the match. This kind of performance from Davies is the kind where it gets to the end of the season and they're thinking about a team reboot and he's locked his spot into the roster.
25 and 10.
Seriously, this is like a breakthrough performance. Unbelievable kind of stuff.
He is locked in.
And he's looked good when they've run him before. Obviously, he's been a pretty core part of this team in terms of, you know, how he's been able to reinforce the squad that's previously just been Kesnet basically fragging. He's had some great moments earlier on in the season, but definitely as KRU are struggling down here, looking down the barrel of going winless. Having performances like this is going to help your confidence heading into LCQ, and any thoughts about retooling in the off-season. Going to put your name at the forefront.
Shining light looking forward into the future, but
The double reswing there from Cloud9 as they re-clear out this B area. There's 4 people here.
focusing on the here and now. Making sure that they clear out that space. Lockdown is close. It's going to be swarming over towards the B site. Not too much to be used to try and clear this one. That's Kesnet making the most of it. Dash was active as well, so he was able to just play that lockdown. That little bit extra. The time paying off with that first kill. Spike, though, still going to get planted, so post-plant now for Cloud9. And it's a fight on multiple fronts here. You can see that there's that flank attempt. Rooney as the door's rotating around, just trying to take the fight towards the main area. Another lockdown in play, Klaus! Oh my goodness! All that proactivity by Cloud9. They love to just refight for some of that space. And it just bit them in the back. You can see fighting close, forwards, trying to fight it all together as a collective group while the spike was stuck. No opportunity for Cloud9 to fight it.
These players, where we've seen rough performances from them earlier in the season too, like Klaus, for example, suddenly look like demons. I don't know if there's the weight off their shoulders, maybe the realization that, you know, they're getting towards the end of the season, nothing to lose. Or the momentum of the fact that they're ahead against one of the top 2 teams in Americas. But
yeah,
whatever it is, these players are fired up today. They've come to play.
Timeout forced out of Cloud9, second one.
You know, it's so interesting, actually. MCE is going to have an opportunity to talk to his team. There he is on the left. He actually tweeted out some helpful cope for the KRU fans this week in the run-up to their game.
Sean was talking about it as well earlier.
Yeah, talking about how close KRU have gotten many, many times. They've had 12 maps so far where they've had over 10 rounds.
Yeah, it's 12 maps that they played close.
Yeah.
They've won 2 of them, lost 10.
Yeah.
And you think about how many they could have converted, but they've been playing teams close.
And now they've got 11 rounds here in the first map too, and looking like they should be able to close it out. KRU have definitely been able to take even the top teams close throughout the whole of the season. Just never been able to get it over the line. Here's another Cloud9 thrifty. What do we think?
Well, I'm only seeing 2 stingers, so that's like, what, the equivalent of 2 rifles.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing...
Zelsis has a frenzy, that's the equivalent of everyone else's stinger.
Yeah, and then 2 sheriffs, which I
Those
think...
are like ops.
Those are like ops usually in the hands of Rooney and Jake, so it's a full buy technically. It's a full buy for Cloud9. Smokes used, propped up, trying to push back. Force the utility out of Cloud9 so they can't just take that A main for free, but drop the smoke here. That's a very, very narrow angle. Kesnet doesn't land the shot. All that space taken. Paranoia pushing him all the way through. Klaus might have to be the difference maker. And he does indeed find his kill. It's Leaf unleashing it now. Ultimate in his hands. But Davies is still there responding.
It's crazy.
The spike is in the hands of Rooney. They have control of some portion of the site, but they are surrounded.
Running low.
Now that ult's going to be fading. I love this discipline by KRU, just waiting it out, knowing that it's going to be fading any minute now, and just as I say that, it does. Stinger in his hands. Leaf feels like he needs to take risks. Davey watching.
So sharp. So sharp. And they put away Cloud9 on another thrifty and make their way up to match point. For all of those close maps that they've had, they've only won 4 maps, all split. Yeah. It felt like at some point during the season, KRU were always going to bring teams to 3. That didn't really happen towards the end. But this would be a major one. Just for the mental.
Amazing one to end your split on. Just give you that hope as well. Now 1 step away from taking map 1 against Cloud9. At times, this team have looked like some of the best in Americas. Now on that back foot, maybe you can argue, you know, some subconscious element heading into this series, thinking, well, we'll have a bit of a laugh of it. Doesn't really matter too much for the playoffs, but they're fired up. You can feel it in the player cams as well. Forward, a position taken by Leaf. He's able to capitalize.
It feels like one of the few times he's gotten a first kill.
It's a rare moment. Flash. Denying a bit of that space as well, so nobody can push through the rotating door. It's a game of timings, really. Op angle. Held so nobody can swing. Alarmbot spots it. Very far back positions being played by the Cloud9 players here. Zeppa looking to try and help out. Right behind the cascade, smokes drop down. It is a gamble. It comes down to a bit of spam, jumping forwards. Cleaned up, cleared out. Kesnet, last one left. Has to save with the operator.
And so that's the first chance for KRU to be able to secure a map that's fallen through their fingers, but many, many more still to go.
Yeah, lots of chances.
They still have another 5 chances to put Cloud9 away. This is only Cloud9's second gun round win of the entire map. I mean, that's...
Yeah, okay.
It's been ludicrous. And if you think about the season for Cloud9, we were just talking a lot about how KRU, they haven't won that many maps, but they've kept a lot of them close. Cloud9 have been the opposite. They've been blowing teams out, and they've barely lost any maps. They've lost 3 maps this entire split. 1 to NRG, and 2 to Loud when they lost that game. And both of those were weeks ago. And both of those are the other top 2 teams. You know, that's 2 of the top 3 in Americas. This is against the team right at the bottom.
Go, go, go.
Couldn't be more different.
Circumstances and expectations, Leaf. This is a really heavy gambit. He's taking this fight. I mean, he's pushing through. He's not supported with the flash, but his team, they do capitalize. They do back him up. Bit of redemption there, and gaining control now of that connector. These B hits have been working for them. It's a double face. 3, 2, 1. Here's the call. Davies, he must reset his aim to get it, but Zeppa is clean for it. Nax left alone now. 1 versus 2. Close corner. You do not anticipate this as the orb falls. It's a clear line of sight angle. Zelsis.
What a cool play. Hiding inside the Viper orb.
Yeah. You just don't really expect that.
No, that's a really nice idea. It works if they go for the tap, and it works where you can just drop it and kind of swoop peek out through Rooney's orb. So Leaf's gotten the first kill in the last 2 rounds, which wasn't happening at all earlier on. And they've started winning gun rounds. It feels like they waited for KRU to get to 12 before they turned
Stepped
on
up
mentally.
Yeah.
Surely that's going to be
It's
too
over.
late, though. I mean, KRU had 6 chances to close this out. They've still got another 4. Surely KRU get across the line.
Can't let this one slip.
I've got your trail.
Grand chance to take a map against Cloud9. Not many teams have done that.
Wow. Zeppa's used his Seekers here and opened the door to make it feel like it could be coming towards B. Then a lockdown invested, Leaf
Lockdown,
towards
Leaf.
the back.
In the back of the side again, there's no util to support him there. He is just alone.
Not even his own stun.
Peeking it dry and he will fall. Lockdown though, that has to clear the way. Gotta respect this one. Backed away for KRU, 1 player detained. I believe that's Davies. Skipping and hopping away out of there. It's going to be a Trailblazer instantly, but with the Viper's pit dropped down, its retake gets that much more difficult. Control being asserted. Cloud9 not wasting any time. Jake really pushing forward to ensure that nobody can push this one. That is really ballsy, and it does not work out, does not pay out. Zeppa though, still containing. It's being that next layer to it. 2 kills found. It's a 2-on-2 though.
Oh, the Nano Swarm.
Yep, and the pit's still up. The Nano Swarms are active. I feel like this is just winnable, even with the kills that they gave away. Rooney falls, and so does the pit, but yeah, time ticking. Spike dropping, Zelsis pretty far into the corner. And so, the number of opportunities for KRU to close this one out,
It's going down.
it drops by 1, Josh.
And it's now halved. They had 6 chances to put Cloud9 away, now only 3. Silver lining, Cloud9 used a lot of ultimates there.
1 enemy remaining.
But unfortunately, KRU are now dropped down onto a Thrifty, and that's going to allow more time for Cloud9 to generate the Seekers back up. The one player on KRU that might not mind this too much is Davies. He's heading towards our kill record in Americas, which is at 33.
Insane! Well,
Oh, well, not for this round.
you've cursed it.
Not for this round,
Absolutely
Davies.
cursed it.
Watch out.
Injection of pace. Spike dropped down, someone else can plan it. Not my job, says Rooney.
Big flank happening here.
Gained all the ground, and this flank is going to be really important. Moving forwards, there's an alarm bot to meet it. It's up to Zelsis. It's activated, so he now knows that they're going to be pushing this one, but he is alone. He needs help from his team. There's a snake bite. Util used. Flick of the wrist. The reaction dropped to 1 HP. Single shot. Healing in this moment, at this time. Okay. And okay, Kesnet reaches back into it. Got the knives online. Dropping it. Rifle picked up.
The other rifle's down in tree, though.
And this is upgrades abound. Door now rotating, starts to really turn up the heat. Jake was opening himself up to the angle of dash. He missed it. He whiffed it into the wall.
enemy
Cove
remaining.
in their face, spraying down. Not enough to do from Elza. Cloud9, it was a little bit shaky, a little bit rocky.
2 chances.
Are we seeing this?
From 6 down to 2. And a timeout tactical taken by KRU.
Oh, no.
It really does feel like Cloud9 only started playing at their full strength once KRU got up to 12, which it's ridiculous to say. But the coordination, the entrying.
I'm winning the gun rounds, really.
Bye-bye.
I mean, look at this. This is like night and day compared to how Leaf was playing at the beginning.
enemy
And yet,
remaining.
winning those gun rounds is the result of all of that. And this is going to get chalked down as another one of those close maps, right? We were talking about the fact that close maps where both teams are in double-digit round score, this should never have gotten to this point. KRU have such a problem closing out. They're 2 and 12. This will be the 13th close map that they've played throughout the split. It's got to be 3 and 12.
I mean, they've lost
3 out of
Josh, they've
13.
lost 10 maps within 3 rounds. They have lost.
Yeah.
That's
So-
within, when it gets into that 3-round territory, that gap, you know, we're approaching that at a rapid rate.
I mean, we're already there. We're already there.
And so, yeah, question laid out here for KRU. And they battle against the statistics that we've been gathering. This team has not looked good at closing out some of these maps. 2 chances now, Cloud9.
They have the tools to do it. There's only Seekers available for Cloud9. And Zeppa's been very good at calling mid-rounds based off the information that they get on those. This looks like the round might be decided in the first 10 seconds at B.
It's a brawl. It's a brawl to be taken. Stacked up with the players. Trailblazer spots it out. What's going to occur? Flash deep round the side leaf. He falls again. So many first steps. The wider swing, the wider fight taken. Cloud9 looking to salvage it. Zeppa. Oh my goodness. Earning the paycheck with that one.
They win the brawl. Shaky, difficult, but the trading ended up being there despite Kesnit taking Leaf out at the beginning. Now Davies with 28 kills, the player who has been so fantastic for KRU on this map, has an opportunity to win a 1v2 and close things out. But my God, is it going to be hard?
Oh, he's got so much to do. He's miles away. It's going to take a good 10 seconds off the clock that he otherwise would have had to play. And Cloud9, they'd love to do this. There's a flash up towards heaven. They clear it out towards stairs. And you know they're going to have that discipline. It's going to take magic.
Placing alarm bot.
Alarm bot behind just in case he gets pushed. Time running out. He doesn't know where they are. And yeah, crossing the angle. Wide. Has to do it. Timer's running low. It's collected. And it's now come down to this, Josh. One round.
Chance.
Like us, but
One last chance. I can't believe KRU went for... I can't believe Cloud9 went for this. When the Trailblazer died immediately, I thought they were just going to bail. I thought they were like, all right, well, KRU are stacked up here. We won't challenge it. No, they choose to fight that one fully. And it's a bit of a mess of a buy, a Guardian and a Bulldog towards the final round, but a lot of ultimates. And they're going for the same thing again.
All over the place. They want to try and fight it again. Surely not. Clashing.
Reckoning!
The Reckoning!
Off the rip!
Offloaded. You're not going to have that one for any sort of retake. And of course, the call gets made by Cloud9. They're like, guys, let's get out of here. We're getting ult for that. Small piece of util used, but it's the threat of it. Cloud9, no strangers to having the confidence to take those fights to them. They thought that they were really going to be barreling through.
Poison's off.
But it's slowed down. Take a bit of a breather here. A lot going to be hinging on this round.
And Zeppa literally used Seekers in the previous round, got a 3K, and now he's going to have them online again.
Yeah, farming up the orbs.
It's crazy how good this ult is on a 3-site map like Lotus.
Pushing forwards, lines them up, clearing its way through. Seeker's going to be used in response to this as well by Klaus. One of them going towards C, so they got to know that it's in that direction. As Cloud9 look to try and pivot. Oh, this could be it. I mean, a snakebite at their feet. They actually can't get into this one. Wall, fast lane, that's right through it. Spam. An angle found as Leaf. Again, first one to fall. And the rest of the team, it's KRU grouped up. Surely this is it. The slam dunk finish. All the kills got away. No way! No way!
One enemy remaining.
They lined them up. They didn't know where they were. It's that classic play from Cloud9, the strength of them that rears its head. playing off of each other. The trading is immaculate. Lockdown earn, round the side, it's up to Davies. He's been immaculate. But immaculate doesn't win it against that. The double phase, bringing it to OT.
Switching sides.
That's 6 chances
Overtime.
squandered, 6 rounds in a row lost to take this game into overtime. I'm telling you, Cloud9, they just looked so different once Crew got a round away from winning. The manner in which this map has played out makes me more scared in Cloud9. They were out of it completely and then just decided to turn it on, and suddenly they won every round.
Is this going to be another tally in the stats? Another close map loss for Crew when you had so many chances. 6, I believe, is what they started with.
We were talking about Davies maybe hitting the kill record, which, by the way, is 33 from Aspas in an OT game. Oh, Zeppa's up towards 28 now.
Equalized with him. Might be able to steal that record. Looking set up for it. This is Cloud9. Pushed up deep towards A main here. Crew now also exploring. A couple of bullets sent flying towards B, but not actually breaking any of the Killjoy utility. They've taken a pivot towards C now as well with the rotating door. Nax is being pressured.
He saw everything.
Yeah. Saw 3 of the players. Is there a call to be made? No, I mean, Crew not willing to really push through that and take that space.
No, and that's a strange one too, because they just used High Tide and Cascade, which would have given them an entry capability into C. And they decided to back off and re-clear. It was working well for them in regulation, this strategy of playing slowly and re-clearing the map. So now Jake's going to be under pressure.
Stun, paranoia. I know where Jake is, has to drop off this.
Only
Still holds it.
And there's only 40 seconds left here, and this is where things start to become a bit dangerous. During regulation, they were getting these picks. They were re-clearing the area and, you know, killing Jake or killing Leaf here and being up a player. It's not the case now. 30
seconds left.
Options are limited. When the time gets down to this point as well, I mean, you're trying to work your way through A. You have so many layers of the util to now try and get through.
It's going
the
to
call
be.
is made is going to be, but they didn't break any of that Killjoy setup before. It's still there, it's still active, it's still onto the side. Nags, movement to the side.
10 seconds.
Takes out Zep for 10 seconds. Nanoswarms breaks it. Plan has to be done, close to the corner. We'll get this one down. It's up to Crew to cover his back. Make sure they get into it, and they do indeed. Kills now flowing. Kill feed filling up with red. Rooney, tap dead, following the traces, finds it. Stun being dodged as well on top of it. Zelt's around the side. Melzer still there, watchful eye. Teammate with his back, and so Crew. I'm hearing the Vamoses from across the stage.
Yeah, well, they win another attack round, but they could just not get it done on defense. They won 3 rounds, 3 retakes, and then lost 6 in a row. So Crew, we've seen them with, this is now their 7th map point. 7th map point. And they still haven't won. They've got to convert here. They can't be giving Cloud9 more chances.
Not again.
Another clash up B.
Not again. Another brawl. Flash connects. Counter flash swinging. Why are you got your knife out, Klaus? What's going on there? It's fallen to pieces. Leaf, of course, he claims his 2. He wants a 3rd. Tap, tap, into the pit. It's Jake who finds it. Huge player advantage. And at this point, Cloud9, you can slow it down. Don't have to fight off of that. You can wait for this Viper Wall to go down, as it does. Nags is given a timing. An off angle now. Had to be massive. But again, left up to Davies.
And I feel for him. He had a 1v2. He had a 1v3. And now he's got a 1v4. And he's always just the last player alive. Crew have gone into desperation territory with their defense, where they're just trying to push and leave Davies anchoring one of the sites on his own. And it just leaves him in these unwinnable spots. He was on such a heater at the beginning of this map, and they've done nothing to empower him.
Yeah, I mean, it's such
and
a
help
gamble.
his whole hand.
Such a gamble.
Straight to the body of Zelsis there.
Yeah, I mean, he's just trying to bait a couple of shots here, but look at Cloud9. I mean, they're not going to give anything away here. It's a high-low setup. One player takes contact. They're going to be swinging from multiple directions. And so another round of OT, Josh.
Switching sides.
The 7th map point. The Crew have let slip away.
On the bright side, Davey's getting close to that kill record. Buys him a bit more time.
What is going on there in that moment?
It feels like the teams are just deciding, guys, let's settle this with a coin flip.
Yeah.
With this kind of gambit, this kind of gamble as well, just fighting so heavily for this.
But did they tell Klaus that there was going to be a knife fight in B?
I don't know. I mean, is it because he dogged to lead in? He had his knife out to get close onto the angle, dogged, and then as soon as he was out of it, he just wide swung.
And thought that his gun would be coming out first.
Yeah.
Yeah, very possible.
I think that's what happened, but yeah, it's when it gets to this situation, the heat's turned up, you can feel the opportunity slipping away to try and close out a map like this. Mistakes start to be created.
Cloud9 are doing the same defensive play again, but this time they catch snags. It's a dry walk.
Yep.
And they know that Crew have been re-clearing A. Crew have been going for it every time. They don't react into Rooney on C. They have always tended to go back to A and re-clear. All right, this time, changing things up a little bit. And as that door opens, you see Leaf considering, should I be going C? Should I be going B? Gets into Waterfall so that he's ready for both.
Yeah, I mean, are they trying to fake like it's a B hit here? C presence with the spike, they're not making any noise, not using any util. I think they're just trying to walk this one in off of the B presence. But it's being watched for. I mean, Cloud9 are playing defensive positions, 2 at Waterfall, 1 at the back of the site.
30 seconds left.
Rooney, high ground off angle, spots it. Players are noted now. He's going to give the call for the rest of Cloud9 to start swarming in with 20 seconds left. They're not going to have a chance to really get this spike down the plant down. It comes down to the gun duels, the fights to be taken.
C. Last player
Davies
standing.
again, last one left, glide to the side, cuts up the crosshair placement. Cloud9 now at map point.
Switching sides.
Let's see how many chances it takes Cloud9. I have a feeling they'll convert before they get to 7.
And yeah, if you're Crew, you're kicking yourself.
Got one.
Attack timeouts called here. Reflect on what you need to do.
Down C. 1 enemy remaining.
Because it's another map where you potentially let it all slip away.
Okay, Crew have been trying the same thing every time we've seen them recently.
The definition of insanity.
They're just trying a 3 or 4 player stack towards B, and it doesn't make sense. I think what they're trying to do is very heavily deny that ult orb at the start of the round, but every play that they've gone for has failed. And at this point, Cloud9 are ready for it. They know how to dismantle it. They've got to be smarter. If Cloud9 are going to commit so many resources to that ult orb at the start of the round, then take a different area of the map. Go and fight over Mount. Go and fight over A. Or sit back and wait for C9 to run into you. There's many, many different ways of playing this. But are they going to be able to deal with the pressure?
You've got to claw this one back. Got one chance to do it, to bring it to another section of overtime. Map number 1 in this series. So many chances that they've let slip by now, and Cloud9 with that fire lit underneath them. In fact, like as soon as it got onto that map point, it all started to come together. The gun rounds starting to find their mark. And here we go. Deep Flash doesn't connect onto anyone, so that's information gained for Cloud9 here. Farming up the orbs. Are they going to try and re-hit off of this? The orb leaves! He just claims 2! A refight again. It's a little bit delayed, but it's all over in the blink of an eye, just like that. Cloud9 take it. It's over. You know, some of that mid-round info gathering agents, KO, Sova, really powerful tools that you can get a grip on. You know, where teams are landing when they're running their attack side. So
the info is very important.
It is really important. And now Cloud9 are opting into this. Double flashes, maybe the idea behind it to set up Leaf a little bit more, really enable him, but
I think the idea behind it might be to throw off prep for other teams in the playoffs. If you have to be worried about 3 different compositions that Cloud9 could pull out, that's a lot of VOD review you have to do.
And so it's a nuanced one. Zephyr moving forward, spraying it down with a frenzy. Any sort of bullets landing, there's a significant amount of damage done. Dash has to be active. Leaf already helping him out as well. Moves onto the site, flash rebounds, and well, Davies ripping off the heads, making himself known on the map, on the site.
Team Flash. Count him up. Let's see. Let's see how disciplined Cloud9 look with this. They're breaking the door a little bit here. Taking space up in heaven. They still have a Trailblazer. Yeah, here it comes.
Yeah, using it to clear through. Spots one of them. Dart broken almost immediately off of that when they got to know a player's main, but there's a crossfire set up just towards Hell. Patience from Rooney. Holds his ground, but doesn't expect Nax set there. A tap, not enough. 3 in a round for Davies. Pistol round claim for KRU.
Yeah.
Fight without wind.
I'm intrigued to see how this one runs. We've seen when Cloud9 were running their Viper composition, and that included the Sky. The Sky was playing towards Tree a lot and trying to flash through the smoke, play aggressively. They had tons of different setups. Okay, Cloud9's 6th player, who's also their assistant coach, has some crazy compositions that he brings out to the table occasionally. So I'm smelling the Cupid influence here.
I'm gonna throw them off.
Additionally, our stats producer's telling me that Cupid's EMEA team used to play Breach on this map too. So, the plot thickens.
Oh, okay. Really,
No charges
following the trail there. The
Yeah.
paper trail from many months ago as the widest could have been cooked up. Stuns, Elsis looks to at least contest it. Not likely. Flash though, on the side. Oh no, don't let him get away with this one. There it is, cleaned up for Zelsis. 4 versus 4. Rooney. Oh, close to the smoke. Jumping round. Does this get spammed? Oh! Jumping round, making sure that they're taking good fights. Round the side. 2 players meet. Melza. It's a rifle dropped. Important one. Don't want to let this one get dangerous. Skipping a hop. The movement from Jake. He avoids all the bullets going his way. Drone in their faces as well. Still with the rifle. They look like they want to face this one. Taking the fight. There it is. Together. Aligned with the idea. And so, 2 of them surviving. Carry forward 2 of the rifles. Good beginning.
It's not exactly what KRU would have wanted. They'd like a little more firepower into this round, but they still had a player, Melza, who didn't buy. So either they save for Kesnit to get an operator online, which I don't really like on the attack side of Heineken 0.0 cent, but they can afford the 3rd rifle to make this a pretty dangerous bonus round. I'm just looking towards Cloud9 for the ideas. What kind of broad themes are they bringing with this composition to start off?
Big fight occurring.
Guiding light early with the one-way to try and push people back and set Leaf up in wide.
A shock dart. That knife is not going to clear Leaf. Still holds it. Ash goes though. Becomes that much more dangerous to play this position. Still got his team to bail him out though as the one-way is renewed.
Yeah, and they just swing back onto the angle. It's really slow from KRU to start things off. The first 30 seconds, not much has happened. They don't control A main even. They're 1-1-3ing, but the 3 players didn't take a portion of map control. And this is late in the round, the minute mark. Trailblazer gets used to clear out Catwalk. Could definitely be someone sneaking up in that spot earlier in the round.
Spots 2 of the players sitting in mid here, and slow and steady might be the approach from KRU, but it is going to be removing again your options.
Look at Rooney currently and the way that he's holding his fault line. This looks like Rooney's going to hold it off A main contact or cat contact.
Knife. Is there going to be a fault line? There it is.
There it is.
30
Runs
seconds
all the way
left.
through. A smoke as well. Drop down towards it. Melza on the side now. Looks like a collapse. Trying to split the way into this one. Flashed up. There's one. Davis is playing anti though. Active with the flash. But Leaf has dropped it along with a spike. Here in main, gaining that ground. There's only 13 seconds left in this one. They've got to try and reclaim it. Wow. Landed up for Rooney. Not even anticipating the other player. Didn't know where he was, but he's blessed with it anyway.
The fools gave us a window. Smash
All right.
through it.
I'm very intrigued to see how Rooney's breach utility is going to end up being global on this defense side.
1 enemy remaining.
We bring in the body
That
bags.
looks very impressive, doesn't it? The way that he ends it with the 3 kills there. But it's the fault line that really intrigues me that happened early on. And I wonder, how is he going to be able to have that level of global impact if KRU start running a 1-3-1 default and taking mid control to start?
Right there.
Maybe KRU aren't going to do that too much.
Yeah, that would really start to, I think, make Rooney a little bit antsy playing this top mid position. They start to threaten it, which they
Now,
are.
yeah, Recon 0 point come down mid, and they are playing that 1-3-1.
Do
Pushing Rooney out.
Yeah, away from that position. There's a turret to take contact as soon as they cross this one, but there's nothing set up to push them away now. And it gets a bit awkward, doesn't it? Because they could be pushing into spawn, could be taking market. You don't really know if you are Cloud9. Leaves a big gap in towards mid. Leaf, though.
How bold.
Yep, takes that as a timing, apparently, to just swing out a cat.
He swings out cat as the Trailblazer came through and cleared bottom mid. It is still thought out, the timings that he's gone for. And the Seekers get Zeppa good information and allow Rooney to play back in this area.
To mid, crossfire. Rooney takes the first contact. He sees a shoulder. That's enough. No way! No one clears it! Pushed up deep into the corner.
One enemy remaining.
Mistakes are made. And Cloud9, of course, they jump on it.
Yeah, this looks great from Cloud9, but partly because Crew can't get a feel for where the defenders are playing.
No.
They were so confident that Zelsis was playing on site there. They've mapped it out in their head. Okay, we know that Rooney's in spawn right now as Breach. We know that there's 3 players over towards A. That Killjoy is going to be anchoring back B. Let me just jump into market and ready my recon dart to punish this Killjoy. Wait, what? She was behind me the whole time?
I was the smarter.
You know, when you make those mental maps and try and visualize where players are standing,
Hold those angles.
a small oversight like that can happen very easily.
Another fight. Paranoia, though. Advantage given to Crew in terms of the space they can take off of that one. Dashing into the smoke. Swinging out wide as well. Look at that 1-for-1. Feeling the heat here. Teleport into the back. See if they can claim anything else here, but the rifles are really doing all the work in the world. Vulnerable up, Davies, where was he running to? Corralled in that corner.
And it looks like we're going to see a different defensive setup here from Cloud9. You see the Jet moving over towards B. They flip. Killjoy playing A.
This is 4 players.
Showcasing out there. Yeah.
4 players from Cloud9 grouped up towards B main.
I assume this is going to be
Mid
some
is
level
completely
of
open.
mega like flash combo to set Leaf up and fight tiles.
How are they doing this one? Paranoia, fault line, flash, everything being expended, but it's a team flash. Leaf wasn't ready for it, but the rest of his team certainly is. Zeppa, round the side, round the back, any sort of containment would be good, but no, it's Cloud9 again on top of it. Not ready. Crew to absorb any of that aggressive play. It's one of the benefits you get when you run quirky little compositions like this, Josh, as well. It's, listen, everybody knows to anticipate maybe a bit of a tiles crunch.
Yeah.
It comes in from there when you play the standard comps on Ascent, but when you have something like this, you have to account for different pieces of utility as well that's just going to be thrown at you. The fault line there as well. You just don't really anticipate that if you're just trying to play for a mid default of tiles.
Yeah, I would agree. Crew didn't adjust thinking about that aggression coming through B main instead of coming through mid. And yeah, we did see the team flash come through as well. But also think about that from Crew's perspective. They have to deal with a paranoia at the start, then a guiding light, and then the breach flash coming through. It's just cascading utility.
Layers of it. Slapped on one after the other, gives them the advantage. Now we see.
It's a different setup again, actually.
Yeah,
Brad.
it is.
They do the fault line off the rip towards B main, and they actually have both initiators playing B. Very unusual.
Crew are just hoping, hunting, that somebody will open themselves up and give them a freebie, a bit of a kill. The Sheriffs and the Knives. Cloud9 looking disciplined.
Zeppa used his Trailblazer a little earlier on just to see whether it was fake pressure in B main, and it wasn't. Trailblazer got broken early. Unfortunately, that means that they don't have too much great information. Zeppa could reflash this as well, but they can hear the turret. They know there's at least one person here, and now a few.
Yeah. Dart sent to the back of the side here, and it is just blinding, nearsighted. I don't know if they've moved over towards the site. Lane kind of smoked off here. It's a little bit all over the place. Spam into the combat angles, but it does get them into the site. Does the job. Rolling Thunder, pushing them back, pushing them through. Everybody stunned up. Everybody trying to survive from Crew. Right to the back of it. And they do. They wait it out. They bait it out. And they're still landing these shots. Next to the Sheriff now. One shot left. And down to the one-on-one. Spike dropped down at the feet. Exchanges the gun, gets a couple more bullets from it. Rooney was holding that. The time becoming an issue. Spike needs to be picked up.
10 seconds
Maxon doesn't know where this is cleared from.
the spike.
He's running. He knows he has to plan it. Rooney has played this one well. Aftershock down the side. Enough time to get this plan down.
Spike's down.
Stunned up. Solo has to be this shot hit. One shot to the brain will do it, but Rooney, no. It was all set up for him.
It still got dangerous, though. That was an anti-eco for Cloud9. And it came down to a 1v1 with Nags hitting some very nice shots. Cloud9, though, able to handle it and go up 5-2 here without dropping around since that pistol, I believe.
So looking quite collected.
Okay, so now KRU have massive ultimates to work with. I mean, any of the three that they have can be comboed into a push, and it looks like they're going to keep it simple. Null command off the rib. And that's going to take Celsius out of this. He's not playing an anti-KO setup.
Oh.
Just now running away.
He might get caught by that. He dets it all just before he gets tagged. Very early detonation there to Nana Swarms. Including that fragment nades drop down at the feet. Nobody can really play market here. The goal KRU get onto the site, but they have left nobody at any of the extremities. They are all playing to the back of the site here. And that's a dangerous prospect when you consider Celsius has that lockdown in his back pocket. They're going to use theirs just to buy a bit more time.
Take flight.
But it is dangerous. All to the side of it. What's the play? What gets made? They do have the Hunter's Fury. Class is going to have to use that at the back of the site if the lockdown is used. But the time running down like this, Cloud9 maybe feel like they actually can't opt into it.
They've used a lot of utility just to clear out B main and clear out spawn.
There it is, finally being used.
There's not a huge amount of time.
He's going to have to use this lockdown. Yeah, okay, Hunter's Fury to try and clear it. Cloud9 know they can play this. It's going to be a player out of the action. Not holding a gun, not holding the fight, yet still it's KRU. They defend it. To the bitter end, and all of them surviving. Will the spike take away any of their lives? Not quite. Round blessing them a little bit there as they get out alive, flawless, keeping all the guns.
But that took all three major ultimates. Davies to get onto site, and then the lockdown and the Hunter's Fury to win the post-plant battle.
Flawless.
So although it was clean, although it was flawless, that one doesn't look replicable until the next ult cycle comes all the way back online. So for KRU, they need to find value elsewhere. And how many rounds do they need? How attack or defense sided is this Cloud9 comp going to be? I don't know. I don't think there's any way of knowing.
Oh, that's a good tag. Suppressed. Leaf. He's even tagged as well from the drone.
He needs help here from Rooney.
Major help here.
They're not going for him.
Slash the dash. Gets out of there. Rooney was looking to try and help him out, bail him out as well, I think, by just taking that angle early and firing a bit of shots. Flash into the smoke. Zephyr wants to take the fight with the Seekers. Quick pivot. Instantaneous as they realize there's a huge presence of players there from Cloud9 fighting over
wine.
mid. Jake is in wine. Extra layer,
spike.
extra backstab. Sprays it. It's awkward, it's a bit messy, but it gets the job done with the spike drop down, smoke drop down. Teleport as well, just to try and evade his positioning. Picked up though.
Davies got it without having to expose himself too much to Jake.
Audible call gets made. They want to fight over tree as the door's broken. It's a cool play. They got plenty of time to do it. Left it to 2 for Cloud9. Shot! Right to the head. Beautiful. You can only see the top of it. And it has evened it out here. Jake still, they know his position's there into main, but trying to retake this one with the operator. Leaf. Could all go wrong in the blink of an eye. Over the top, drops down, spots it. Now the classic in his hands. Wider swing from Davies, really good, really great. Making sure to contain that main swing as well. Didn't get overwhelmed.
Davies was on a heater map 1, and it's absolutely continued into map 2 here. KRU with those last 2 rounds have suddenly made this look a lot more even. It's a very nice idea in the mid round to push back. But Davies' individual form is also carrying them through a lot of these close, sticky situations.
Yeah.
He's got 13 kills currently. Cloud9 pushed down onto an eco. Never count them out in these spots.
Oh. The KRU did need that. Getting that 4th online here. Dangerous. With the rifle.
There.
Yeah, I mean, Leaf was hoping for something early.
So now the suppression comes off. Zephyr can heal up Leaf.
Cover going
Get that
out.
duelist with the Vandal back up to somewhere near full. 100 health, definitely a little more vulnerable.
So the question in terms of just, you know, how good this Cloud9 comp is going to be looking when they swap sides over towards the attack side. You know, when we talk about traditional comps, we think of Ascent as a very defense-sided map.
Stealing sight.
But so far, so good. Oh. Could get scrappy, could get strained, but no. Crew biding their time at the beginning, really waiting this one out. Rooney
Spike
reset
down
there with the aim,
mid.
almost finding a second, but not really doable. Celsius now on a bit of a hunt to see if he can salvage maybe a rifle. We'll get into position here to take some away.
But this looks very
Spike
solid from
planted.
Crew.
Yeah.
Cloud9 clearly have some nice ideas of what they want to do on this map, but they've let really one crucial round slip through their fingers, and suddenly they're looking at 5-5.
Well, there's the rifle. That's what he was looking for.
Else is still in a 1v3 though, with the spike planted.
Is he going to go for this? I mean, you should just be saving it.
Probably.
Yeah.
But at the same time, their loss bonus is going to be fairly large. He could give it a crack.
Time running out though. Enough money for Crew really to buy as well. Exits don't do too much for you.
It does help a little bit just to suppress
Got one.
Crew's economy.
Okay.
You don't want it getting out of control. But yeah, you're right. We're heading into round 11, round 12. Not going to make too much difference.
Yeah, gets the one.
Especially when Davies is set at max money. But yeah, to be honest with you, Cloud9 have only really let one round slip through their fingers, round 9. They had the massive ult disadvantage in round 8. And then with round 9 also falling away,
Enemy remaining.
they
Spike
then
down
lose
mid.
the eco round afterwards. And they're dead even at 5 apiece.
Important for Crew as well after
Placing swarm grenade.
losing map 1 in the fashion that they did.
Placing swarm grenade.
Does put a stopper on things. There's always the chance that Cloud9 would run them over. All that momentum. They gathered as well in the second half of Lotus.
There is also a chance that they do the same on the next half. We haven't really seen this double flash comp.
Yeah.
It could be very attack-sided. Here's Rooney under a ton of pressure. This is what we asked earlier. What happens when he gets pushed super heavily in mid?
Yeah, the target's broken there. There's no real trap play off of it.
No. And
Because-
previously, Zelsis was pushed up to market to help Rooney. Now he's all the way in the back B side.
Take flight.
It's a big gulf in terms of the info that Cloud9 are going to be able to gather. That's what we were saying was one of the downsides of running this comp. You don't have that constant refresher with the KO knife and the Sova dart.
And in fact, in the first 40 seconds of the round, Zepp has used both flashes and Trailblazer.
Right.
Just now getting one of his flashes online. So this is where he really lacks info. The Crew have played this round very well.
Yeah.
They've created mid presence, created catwalk presence. They've pulled Cloud9 away from A main even. It's a lot of the map where C9 have no good info.
Some time bought though. The turret can get back online towards the back of the site here. Celsius is going to be looking to try and anchor this down. 28 seconds left, just about making their way through here, but a spam might have found something. Would have been a lucky one if Leaf did. Stun, connects. Celsius needs some help now. Needs to get bailed out. Dodging, ducking, weaving. It's a double face, though. He can't get a clean fight. Davies. There was that line of defense. Meanwhile, guess what? Gesnit was lurking up through Cat. And he found Zeppa. Rooney.
Team A.
Risky play, wide swinging down, but that's it. Okay, Crew. Gather a 6th round. They take the lead here in the first
Last
half of the
round
set.
before the switch.
Yeah, and Crew are actually dismantling this comp very nicely. They've found that hole, which is towards B and market, and they're pushing Zelsis into backside and then exposing the weakness. B main aggression seems like it would be really good with this composition, and you keep re-flashing Leaf back onto the angles and challenging for that. But when you give Crew B and you give them mid, it's actually looking quite weak. Cloud9 have run 3 players over on A for the majority of this. For the final round, they swap it up. Turret holds B contact. Rooney and Leaf over towards that B site.
Interesting.
So this adaptation does look good, but even at its best, it would only put Cloud9 even.
Ah. So the target gets broken. There's a fault line to push them away.
Here.
Flashbang. Shutting them down.
And yeah, Crew have been doing a good job, I think, of the slow siege approach to this map, making sure that they can take out any of the Killjoy utility, exploring mid mainly as well, appropriately.
And Davies gets his ult online. This was a major tool that won them round 8. And the player that has some kind of retake ultimate, Rooney, is hard anchoring the site. But Crew decide not to go to B. They heard the Killjoy here, but they've decided to hit on the other side of the map.
It didn't really have any prior space.
No, but I think an explosion out through B main would have been a decent call. Nags is going to end up being the lurker here as... What the?
They just anticipated it.
Nags gets it! Nags got the kill anyway!
He was stunned up. Should have been a dead man. He wasn't. He's still alive. He's still kicking. And then the rest of the hit comes in through A. Spike planted now. Aquaman ripping through. Fades away eventually, though. No more suppression with the abilities. Now that's like going to be that dash. Leaf using it. Works his way in across heaven with the smoke. Drops down into it. Trying to take the fight when the Hunter's Fury is active. Spam! Right through the wall. Collects it. Knives ripped out on top of it. Cloud9. They swarm. They overwhelm. They bring it to 6-6 here for this first half.
Well, that retake looked fabulous, but the half in general, not great from Cloud9. Better than the first one on Lotus, though, and they still managed to win that map. But this series, timeouts called by Cloud9 at all, despite the 4 rounds in a row that KRU got in that first half. It does make me wonder how much time has been put in the scrims and, you know, server time to really flesh this out. They've definitely got some core ideas nailed down here, C9. But I'm still feeling like this might just be a gambit to throw people off in playoffs.
Yeah. A red herring, push people's attention away, waste a bit of time in the preparation as they look forwards as well into the later days and matches. But the focus for now on this pistol round, attack side, Dash, the Trailblazer, Paranoia as well. Can't see a bloody thing. Davies collects it, yep, leaping through the air. Accuracy is key. Davies still, oh my God! Davies denied the ace, but he's done the work. Paved the foundations for a lovely pistol round win for KRU.
He looks absolutely monstrous today. What's his wake-up routine?
Yeah, what's the routine?
What did he eat for
breakfast?
breakfast?
What's the peripherals? Am I seeing a wooting? Like, what's he using up there?
What's the sense? What's the crosshair?
What's going on?
19 kills for Davies, and I think he had 31, I believe, in the first map.
Something close to that.
An absolutely crazy performance today. And it's helped pull them through so many small situations and close rounds, like, for example, that one. Taking out Leaf instantly just kills all of the early pressure that Cloud9 were throwing in.
See if you can now grant a bit of momentum for KRU. Leaf?
All right, Leaf, you're good too. All right.
Singular Leaf versus KRU. Give him a sheriff. What can he do? That wasn't intentional.
Dr. Seuss
sounded incredibly corny. Was not intentional.
Nags getting aggressive too, pushing in front of that turret that he's got set up for B main contact. And of course, with KRU's comp, you kind of know what they're bringing to the table, but it's also just such a well-rounded composition for Ascent.
Yeah. It's very standardized for a reason.
And there's also, when everybody plays a comp like this, you don't have to invent stuff yourself. You can see other people doing it, iterate on it, figure out what works. And so, in some sense, once a few teams start playing it, it becomes easier for other teams to be good on it too. And that snowball effect that we see in the meta does sometimes happen. Cloud9 here very much going away from that. So Cloud9 start round 15, the anti-bonus, all grouped up in B main. As we take another look at the replay here of Melzer, grabbing these couple of kills with the Bulldog. It was very clean. But the positioning from Cloud9 to start this round seems a little dangerous to me. A lot of teams on their bonus round will go for some kind of aggressive tiles crunch.
Now we're seeing it. The first implementation of those timeouts that have been saved up for Cloud9.
Looking towards LCQ. This is a team that's had success before.
You want hope.
You want some level of hope towards the end of the season that you could still make a run. You don't want to have to get to the end of the year and just think, well, that was a disaster. What do we have to do? Rebuild.
Yeah.
You know, you want still something.
This is that last chance in the regular split. Earn a win against one of the top teams.
And they haven't been out of it. They've had their moments.
They've had their moments, but they couldn't quite grasp it in map number 1. We'll see if this ends up changing things up. Winning the bonus would be tremendous to get them on that track. Jump spot on top of the fountain. Smoke going to be denying that info, though. It's deep. Does force out the drone from Klaus just to get a bit of that mid-round information. KRU doing a good job to deny any sort of space gain, but with that util being used, wow, Leaf. Crosshair placement was good there. Could have taken out Davies. Flicks and reacts. It's adequate enough. With Davies removed now, no more pace behind that one, actually. Cloud9 just not choosing to really go fast. They slow it down with 30 seconds in the round.
Yeah, very slowed down.
30 seconds
and Rooney
left.
looked like he was pulling away from B main, and now he's going to return because this is going to end there.
Yeah.
A B split, 4 through market.
Smoke drop though. Haven't cleared any of that util. It's still going to be an out of swarms. The rest of them have to commit somewhere. Has to be in the stairs, lined up for it. At the back of the site.
Down B.
Nags with a wide
Last
swing.
player standing.
Kesney behind. It's a full collapse. Cloud9 overcooking it slightly.
And very nice pace from Kesney. He gets behind them so quickly. Just as that door is fading down, and nobody was looking behind from Cloud9. Nobody even thought about the idea that there could be somebody pushing them from market. And normally there's many chances for that to happen. And here it is. Here's the timing that's taken just through the smoke.
Yep.
This is an extremely normal thing that teams are often looking for.
Down
They'll
B.
keep a player market, keep somebody watching for that at the very least.
Grants them a win on their bonus. This is fast. Oh, Melzer! What a shot to fire, what a shot to hit. Davies though doesn't win that one. No one's ever got to sting it. Spam though into the smoke. And okay, take your pick, why not?
Too easy for Kesney,
Yeah.
isn't it?
The common angles, I mean,
These last
luck
couple
of
of
the draw.
rounds.
Don't get me wrong, luck of the draw, but yeah, drops all of them. Cloud9, after losing that one, when really should have been favored with the weaponry, they resort to that fast play. Does not work out. They get stumped early on, and now KRU are assembling again a pretty similar lead
Oh, don't say it.
to what we were seeing in map number one.
Don't say
they
it,
get into the point. They get into the point. You gotta
Spike spotted
take it
A.
all the way.
If I'm KRU, I'm deliberately trying to throw around so it doesn't end up at 12-6. Just for the mental.
Okay.
Just for the mental.
But then it gets them closer to the close map, which
Doesn't
they're not
matter.
doing well. It
Doesn't
doesn't matter?
matter.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
All right.
Never want to see a 12-6 again if I'm KRU. So it's been Rooney's job here to control B main. It seems very strange to put your breach on that DUT. He's so far away from the rest of the team. I guess they're going to try to use the distance involved in his initiator kit to their advantage.
He should be able to just send fault lines and stuns, the fault line stuns and the flashes as well, quite a distance. There's long sight lines if you know the tech for it. But Cloud9 are grouping up. They want to try and go fast. Seekers though, Paranoia gets used to try and push them away. Davies as well. Just pushes through, making sure that nobody was past the smoke.
And they decided to hard cancel. That's Leaf losing his dash. That means you can't go out A main. You're going to have to wrap around it. If they want to finish A, it's got to now be an A split.
Limits your options.
Pushing A main without a jet dash is just nigh on impossible.
Yeah.
But they are going to leave Zelsis here, which makes me think they're going to fake like it's going towards B and end back towards Cat.
Yeah, alarm bot taken out. You're exactly right. Moving over towards. Great knife timing.
Yeah, that's very big.
Zeppa, maybe
30
potentially even
seconds
more,
left.
and it gives them a good idea now. KRU are aware of this. Look at it, flooding into the site, making sure they can shore up the defenses. And what better player than Kesney? Pulls aside a Jenny. Still need to find shots. Jake alive, but not for much longer. Not when Kesney is this active, and he's got that confidence. 4 kills in the round. One more round to get to that point.
My math might be off, but I think that's 10 kills he's got in the last 3 rounds.
Yeah.
I think he got a 3K, 3K, 4K. I mean, it's just insane. He's been so instrumental. And it's not just in terms of his firepower. It's that he's got the read on where they're going. He's always got the correct idea of where Cloud9 are going to be ending. And that's not just him, that's the info that he's being given by, let's say, Davies 0 point, which you called out on Catwalk, that catches all of those players and lets them know that the feint was indeed a feint towards market.
And this is why, you know, when we're talking about a composition coming up, we had these questions about it because there's a reason Ascent has been relatively standardized. People have been innovating, they've been chopping and changing, they've been running the Viper, but across the board, when you run the KO and Sova, gives you those tools to just, you can just stunt any sort of push. Mid-round adaptations, when teams try to cut noise,
Yeah.
they get bogged down.
Cloud9 are yet to even plant the spike in this half. These haven't been retakes from KRU. These have just been stacked in the right place and absolutely dismantling. And this has been a real problem with running double flash initiators in general, not just on Ascent. But if you think about the teams that in the past used to run Breach and Sky, even on Bind, right? They were just always too readable. The places where they were going, it was too obvious where they were ending up. And I can appreciate Cloud9 trying to mix that up a little bit by having Rooney just play B main on his own. So the Breach utility is never where they're going, but it's not working. KRU have got the read. It's 11-6. It's an anti-eco. It's one away from the fated 12-6 scoreline.
Not again. Cloud9 pumping in the util. There was a dart at the back. They waited it out, and it does buy time for the rotations. This is there, spamming, spraying. Always a dangerous task. Dashed up, round to the side. No way does he get one, but he's swarmed, overwhelmed.
Defender spawn.
And now, fight to be taken. KRU, they're lined up. No way, my goodness. It's all over the place.
It looked crazy. It looked like Cloud9's pivot, the mid-round, may have ended up working for them. But I've said it before, and I'll say it again.
This is different, though.
They have 6 chances.
This is different, though.
How is this different? They have 6 chances, Bren.
They're on a weaker side for the map, statistically.
Okay.
They don't look as practiced with the comp.
That's also very true.
There you go. It's not as standardized as their Lotus.
You're giving me very reasonable reasons here.
Looking like it should be pretty standard with 6 chances, but the stun catches 2 of the players. The flashes as well, they can't see anything lining it up. They have to watch it to the side here. Klaus, what a shot to hit. Spraying it down, almost collecting Jake as well. Kesnet not wasting time, not in the slightest. Past the aftershock. Stops his movement, just a tad. Does claim the 1 kill. Melter round and through, lockdown, buying time, buying space, pushing through. Flash, round, and that's it, it's done. No more wasted chances. Firing on all cylinders. If Davies is as well next to him, if he carries that forwards, Cloud9 might be in a bit of trouble.
And Davies' individual performance has been spectacular today. I could kind of believe it. They've had some close losses on split. They are 0-4 on this map, though, KRU. It's not been a good one for them.
4 players from KRU grouped up. That's just a contact taking of the fight.
Major pick by Kesnet.
Yeah, with Leaf falling.
So much about this double duelist is just getting them fired early. Kesnet's been winning a lot of those early duels compared to usual.
Forced to adjust and adapt now for Cloud9. They're going for some contact plays of their own. Jiggle the movement though, so Snakebite landed at the feet, and with the orb in play, no one can get past this one. Bleeding time.
Everyone on KRU is in
they're in the
attacker's spawn.
What's going on here?
By guns.
What is going on here? They have rotated all the way around. They've given up all of A. Flash play. Cloud9, meanwhile, they're exploring. They're like, where's the presence here? Like, they're moving around. They're on a swivel.
Absolutely crazy.
Cloud9's goal was to put presence into ropes and try and land B, but they've just swarmed Nagzed instead, who's alone on the north side of the map.
Yeah, but if they end B,
it's all flipped. They're ending B, and they've lost B main. It's all been gathered up. This is bizarre. This is all over the place. Spotted the position, spotted the players. It's anyone's game at this point. Fully blinded up. Spamming the common angle there. Still returns. Spike going to be dropped down. Remaining. Bullets to the back. And still can't hold it. That's Kesnet with 3.
That's a nutty pistol round from KRU. They 4-1 stack A, get the first kill, and then push all the way into spawn. Bizarre, but it works. It throws Cloud9 off completely.
Threw me off.
Yeah. Sometimes when you're such an underdog coming into a game like this, your best option is just to do stuff that's crazy.
Yeah.
Just do things that are going to throw off the way that Cloud9 play. Cloud9 did that themselves, I think, by playing an unusual comp that we hadn't seen from them on Ascent. But yeah, Kesnet gets 3 kills, and he and Davies are the players that we're going to need to see fired up. This is an extremely standard defensive setup. We've seen every team that plays double duelist run this.
Holding the ground in mid. Oh, jump spot. Bullets rattled off, dropped to 40 health. Back away with the smoke as well. Good util though. Flips out on both sides. Heals in play. So any sort of damage done going to be removed, heal back up. And it is Cloud9 hunting for that first shot. An opportunity. Flex the statistics. Maybe they can get a win on the ecos yet again. Have a good nade. Zepp. Ooh, satchel. Gets him out of danger. Guns ferried away as well, not to give any more advantages over. You've already lost a player, but an explosion towards Heaven now, moving their way through, waiting for the util to come back online. Flash doesn't connect. It's a perfect timing given to Davies. He's able to swing out there. Nobody was really watching for it. Jumping, right-clicking, hoping for a bit of a blessing. Still, they've managed to maneuver themselves into great ankles, and one more shot would have done it there, but it's left down to this. Kesnet versus Zephyr. Another nade. Rebounded away, pushes it back. Time is running short. Spike out in the open with the Spectre.
Another Cloud9
Another
thrifty.
thrifty.
The amount of 50s in this match has just been ludicrous. But I mean, for the map that decides it to begin like this, just feels like more of the same. This whole series has been topsy-turvy.
Yeah.
But of course, we know Cloud9 excellent at those kind of rounds, and they show us why. Really patient, extremely disciplined, and setting all their players up to try and double face, trade, swing for each other. They also use a lot of utility on eco rounds, which a lot of other teams don't want to because they've bought up fully. They don't want to go into the next round with you know, pieces of that kit missing.
Great migration for KRU, isn't it? They hear the signs of the utility going off towards the B site, and all of them stomping herd of elephants running all the way through with the shorty at that angle. You're not favored. Dropping down, flooding down into the site. KRU look to try and take it to them straight away with the sheriffs. Rattling off. Dash active, so Kesnet is safe, but for how much longer when he's dropped down to 20 health? Turret spots that, so they know that Elza was peeking, pushing. Two of them left alive at this point, just trying to do damage.
One enemy remaining.
Anticipated in the close corner there. Flash. Easy setup. And 3 of the guns should be being kept, I believe. Yep. Okay, yeah, an exchange there, just making sure that they get 3 of those rifles into this next round.
And a showstopper on board for Zephyr, who's 6-1 right now. And I think putting Zephyr into this carry position, he's actually been individually performing better than Leaf, I would say, over the course of this match.
Yeah.
And that's unusual. That hasn't really happened so far this season. Zephyr's been, you know, happy to just put in his shift, do what his team needs, and set up Leaf to have the carries. And obviously the roles are swapped here as we go into split. That's how this team functions. But you still often see Leaf have the God game on Sky.
Any roll.
There's Kesnet instantly again. The punish
so
onto
aggressive.
Rooney. And Rooney's really far forwards.
Yeah. I believe just catching a glimpse as the wall was going up there. Handed the sight line. The tap of it. He wants more. He's got confidence. Been saying it all game long. When Kesnet gets fired, all the way up, very difficult to stop him.
Oh, timing. I think Nag's got past the boombot there, but it's all right. The rest of Cloud9 have backed things up. They're in a 3v5 situation.
It's being contained.
Yeah, and they don't own anything. Melza's
Making a lot of noise.
Melza's got tons of info. There's 4 players stacked on A. How can Cloud9 possibly skill their way out of this situation? It does not look doable.
Okay, ult in the hands of Zephyr. Showstopper maybe, even though he just takes the raw gunfight. Now it's time to unleash it. Rocket is there.
Never say never.
Satchel up in the air. We'll see what he can do. Clears out the sight from it. It's a bit of a flip now. Heaven control going to be gained here for KRU. All of them grouped up.
I think you've got to do something proactive, though.
Yeah.
Cloud9 in this spot.
You don't have good post-plant positions.
No, not at all. And you have a player disadvantage. How do they even do anything proactive, though? They can't get anywhere.
Everything's being watched for.
No utility either. All been deployed.
Yeah, got to hit your shots. That's what it feels like. That's what it comes down to. Stun. Forwards. Celsius wouldn't have been favored there. Kesnet eventually is traded there, but not before he's done a lot of that damage as well with 3 kills in a round. Nade backing away, just trying to buy time! And they weren't watching for that. 200 spray down up to Davies and can't win it.
That's a 3v5, and only one of them falls. How have Cloud9 won that?
Covering perfectly. Weaving in and out. Great nade from Zephyr as well. Stopped anybody just pushing up onto the site scaling.
He started that round 6-1 and got 3 kills as well. Nigh unkillable. Zephyr really putting in the work here. I'm amazed at that. I asked the question, how are they going to outskill? And it just came down to Zeppa raw swinging the player at Vent, making space with his showstopper, and then fragging out in the post plan. This team has so many players that can turn up when their team needs it and carry around.
For Cloud9 as well, with Zeppa playing the better game over the series, maybe it's a good thing that he is a central player, playing that duelist to take the first shot, to take the first engagement.
He ducked right underneath the shot.
Yeah, and Zeppa's feeling it now. Satchels, the pathing. Makes his move over towards Nubox. Shots there, could have found a little bit more, but only the one, and it is so damn clean.
He's on fire.
He's on fire.
We were talking about Kesnet and Davies, and you made the point, Brent, that if Davies was stepping up to the level that we've seen from him in the series so far, this would be a very difficult duo for Cloud9 to stop. And instead, it's been the race on the other side. These shots are ludicrous from Zeppa. So good.
Look at that.
Great work. Wasn't as much danger in that round, obviously. The crew being knocked down to the half buy, but it has forced out the timeout now because they've realized that they're letting something slip away here.
For these teams where they're the underdog and they had a good chance to be able to 2-0, and then it gets to map 3 and the map pool depth ends up being a problem for them.
It's a real task.
We've seen it so often in this split, and I think quite often with crew.
Yeah, how do you dispel the little voice that's going to be at the back of your head for a lot of these crew players thinking, we could have had this in 2.
Yeah.
We just closed out Lotus.
They could already be celebrating.
Could have been celebrating, and now we're sitting here and the round differential is increasing and increasing, slipping away, but that's what the timeout is for, to settle those nerves and maybe get back on the board, get the momentum.
Taking that back.
Kesnet has the op over towards A, but there's no Cloud9 bodies in that area. Instead, 3 from Cloud9 working up mid.
Snake bite.
Tickles the toes of Leaf.
Yeah, just to deny them any of that space that they can scale with, but it's a boom bot.
Alarm bot out.
Trailblazer as well utilized both at the same time here. Zelsis with the lockdown, trying to push them back. Not sure what the goal was, maybe just try and threaten that they could be there, but it's a reclear from crew into mid. They're giving up this space. Lovely util into the back of the site, clears that one out. There was a gap there.
Davies has a showstopper here. He could definitely ult off the plan.
They're going to try and flood in. Yeah, okay, Cosmic Divine, Rooney, what a kill! What a shot! And still the position is held. Down into hell, Leaf is low, Seekers up top. Now he knows where the last 2 are. Uses it to reposition. Plant only just going down, but not a worry for Cloud9. Left themselves, it was a 4v2 or a 3v2. Maybe overstepping themselves. Rifle now. Leaf is low. Single shot maybe could do it. Dashing forwards. No way, Zeppa misses that. Kesnet can't be getting away with this. But yet he does. Cleans house. Nags to help him out at the end. What a round and what a performance.
Another player disadvantaged situation, but this time going the way of crew. These individual heroics have been everything so far on Split. Kesnet looks like he's on fire. He's been winning the early round engagements and now cleans up around for his team too. This map feels like 4 players setting up their stars on both sides.
Yeah.
It's just a anime battle between Kesnet and Zeppa, and the others are there to throw utility and die for the cause. God, that second kill is so snappy.
Very fast of it. That was large player advantage, the Cloud9. Let's slip away. And it's exactly what crew needed. Try and get back in control. unusual game being played here with a utility that's sent back and forth at the beginning of these rounds. Only just using a Trailblazer. Crew from bots. Well, gets broken before it can do any damage. Valorant have worked themselves in this advanced position into mid, but where do you go from here?
Well, it looks like Rooney is going to hold the ult up into B heaven. And this is major.
Clears through. There's a nade to deny that space though. It's good utility. Double satchel though, straight past it. Wow, winning that fight out low enough though. There's a trade still, Leaf active on the map. Swings wide, make sure that does not get...
Oh, the flash is bad.
Flash is bad. Can't land the shots though, and well... Just trying to get out of there. Down to the staircase, opens it up. Kesnet with the op. Forced to back away, forced to save.
I love the way that Zeppa played that on the entry. Rolling Thunder comes through and clears up through B heaven. And you're right, it was denied by a nade from Davies. And that feels like a one-for-one trade, where you've traded an ult for a piece of utility. But it's not. Zeppa's very fast with his double blast pack back in there, because he knows even if a player's held their ground with the nade, they're going to be stunned. Oh, Kesnet now giving away his positioning.
Yeah,
should get hunted.
Should get hunted. It's going to fend them off. They're eager to remove that weapon.
Doesn't look like they're going to be able to, though.
Yeah, not going to be able to clear him out of that position. But you're seeing the real strengths of Cloud9 shining in a round like that. Just the way they play off this. I mean, you were just about to bring it up, Josh, but the double satchel pass as well. There's the backup as well as he's got his teammate behind him to swing wide. Yeah, there's an attempt at a punish. And Leaf's there as well.
They're very smart at understanding which space is theirs that they can go and take for free. Kesnet with an op in this round that he saved from the previous, and Nags with a judge. That's it. That's all they've got to work with here. Both teams should be attacking favored, I think, on this map. Just the compositions that Crew... I mean, mainly it's Crew's comp.
Yeah.
I think it's going to make the entire match, the entire map feel attacker-sided. But Crew finding a couple of moments. Oh, that re-swing almost.
They're still alive. Showstopper now. Round to the side. Brings out Klaus. Sole player anchoring, looking to see if he could do any sort of damage. At this point as well, when it gets to situations like this, it can feel like the operator is like a tether. It stops you from really being able to play aggressively. You trying to carry it forward all the time. Looks like an attempt is made though, regardless. Okay, bit of an upgrade there. Long range. With the off, everyone turning their back. Melzer is doing damage. It's down to just Rooney. 1 versus 2 behind the screens, spamming the corners. Snakebite isolating the fight. Low enough. That'll do it. Melzer sprays it through, sprays it down. Sticks to the fuse. That's a round win when they invested half again.
They only had an operator and a judge in that round. It's a thrifty where Kesnet gets a pick with the op, Melzer gets 2 later on with the operator, and then finishes off a player with a phantom that was picked up. All in all, they found a lot of good value there. Melzer does a great job at this because it is a tricky situation, like you said, Brent. It can feel like a bit of an anchor, having to worry, oh, do I save the orb? Do I go for it? What do I do?
And they went for it there. Works out.
But Kesnet has been so good at getting these first kills in this match so far. He's just been monstrous at them.
Yeah.
He's winning about 70% of the time compared to his usual 45%. Can't be overstated how much of a difference that makes.
There's a standard setup that we're now seeing as well from Crew. The Viper's Pit drop down towards A main. It should funnel them into Kesnet, but he has to hit the flick, and he's not capable of it. It's too hard even for him. Good movement with the satchels. Out in the open though with the smokes dropping. Maybe a chance, maybe an opening. But the site's going to be gained here. An attempt at a flood. Util nade, drop down. Zeppa firing off his. Jake watching. No one able to drop down into hell to try and punish it. And again, has to be the save, has to be backing away in a blink of an eye.
I was just talking about the way that Kesnet has been so successful on the first kills, and he takes another one of those early fights and loses to Zeppa. And Zeppa's been phenomenal at it, 5-0 so far on Split. So, as much as Kesnet's getting value in the early, so is Zeppa.
Yeah.
Even better.
He's really stepped up. I mean, he's been having a good game this entire time, this entire series. Not expecting that one, but they spot his position. Trying to hunt out that last gun. Player saving, no, giving it up. Cloud9 6-3. Couple more chances now in the first half.
Yeah, what we've seen, Brent, on map 1 and map 2 is Crew going up 12-6. So they're going to win the next 9 rounds in a row.
Enemy remaining.
And then we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Okay, we're going to give Crew 9 rounds.
They're going to equalize.
Yeah. And then we'll play.
Okay. Got it. Got it. That is how it's gone.
I don't know whether history is going to be the same here.
Yeah.
It's a very different start in the map, isn't it? Cloud9 look like they've come out, not all of their players, but Zephyr in particular, with a vengeance. Refuse to lose. That kind of mentality. And this pressure in mid is drawing Kesnit as he looks for the first engagement.
Oh my! Bullet stopping it in its tracks. The momentum was halted there. Trying to glide into the site. Flash, but nowhere to really push and punish. Cosmic Divide gives them a free plant now for Heaven.
Kesnit is so quick.
They are
well played
really
down
quick,
ramp.
actually. That is so active.
They know Leaf is here because they heard his utility being used in mid early on in the round.
So taking up the space towards main. The wall going down. It's an angle there, but now they've seen Leaf. He needs backup, he needs help here. Crew needs to try and take him out over the top. The updraft. One more knife. Oh, no way. Leaf is a nuisance. Eventually removed, but has he done enough damage? Has bought so much time here. The post-plant positions of Cloud9 still not good, but they've been in this situation before and they've been good for it. Panic settling in. The util's there. Fault line, a pull. Flashes as well. Nothing's favored. And a hard call has to be made. Back out, give up the round.
Last player standing.
Well, mutually assured destruction with that one, but yeah.
Everybody going down. Both teams with enough money as well. So it's, oh, actually, Cloud9 not looking too great here. Perhaps they should still be able to cobble something together. I think they'll be fine. And Kesnit managed to save enough to get an operator online too, so we'll get a serious end to this half. It feels like unless Kesnit is able to sniff out where the hit is coming from and get that first pick, it's just been impossible for Crew to find the momentum and player advantage they need to close things.
Well, here's a chance. Turret contact. That's going to force out that fault line. Zephyr, I thought that was intentional, not with the movement, but off to the side, maybe was looking to punish. And of course, Kesnit takes the re-peek.
He had a chance there.
Yeah,
a
just didn't
really
land
good
it.
one. Interesting that they prioritize getting an orb onto Zelsis instead of Rooney, who would have had his Rolling Thunder available. Look, the spike stays in B main, they come around to mid, and they come around to A, just to try and spread out the defenders a little bit again.
We've seen this game plan. Seekers are going to try and make this really feel like an A hit, especially with the players. And Cloud9 starting to now make their moves up towards ropes. But guess what? It is just that bait and switch. The Spike has no intention of moving away from the main position.
This
Players
is
are going to
wild.
start running it down. I mean, this really does feel like it's an A hit.
But they've committed 2 people to A.
Of course. Why wouldn't it? And they've taken the bait. It's a free plant as well. Rooney's going to be able to get that down onto the absolute opposite ends of the map, of the world. It's down to this, though. Nax, he realizes he's got that window of opportunity to work his way into the map with 1 kill now, but it's still a 2 versus 4, and Kesnit's retaken with the off.
Kesnit's got a player in front and a player behind. He's sandwiched.
Running up, footsteps.
Player
What?
standing.
Hitting that. Doesn't land a second. Short is denied. Okay. That's how that ends.
Right there.
That's how that ends.
Last round in the half.
What is this match? Sure. Okay.
What is this match?
All right.
Oh my god. They just knifed the player that's 13-8. After he hit a 180
Yeah.
scoped in flick with the op. These rounds are something else. That's very creative. What is that? He had to pick up his mouse 3 times.
He was. Oh my! I mean, okay.
This is a true end of the season kind of
It
game.
really is. It really is. Double faced up again. It's the same at fault line. Stuns up the 2 players. Crew cannot stand it. A lockdown. Utilized. Drop down.
They still have breach ult for this too.
Yeah. They can start to lay these ults now as we look.
Satchel out.
Oh my goodness. Satchel, what is the play here? I mean, the stun is going to be pushing them all the way back. Crew, they just want to throw everything at this one with the judge. It's just not a good fight to take. Still swinging through damage. Definitely done towards New Box. And a crossfire setup. It's dangerous. With Kisner on the high ground, he's removed a lot of that threat. A minute left. Players out in the open. They don't have the spike down. For KRU, a possibility, a chance.
The Guardian spam has done so much, and Celsius is trying to plant behind a box that's extremely spammable.
No one's in that position, though. It's being held. Interesting call to be able to take this fight here, close to the corner. No one from Heaven. Flash around the side. Is it going to be anything to capitalize? Moving around, spraying it through. It's a 2-on-2. Lodo, that's the players. Lodo!
Last player
Left it to the
standing.
1-on-1. Rooney, a tap. Not planted for him. Doesn't take the bait, doesn't push forwards.
Ice
He knows he's not sticking it. He's granted a chance. Smoke. Down, Melzer! Lands the shot, finds it with 3. And maybe, just maybe, he's made it that much more winnable. For the first half, it's a big deficit with the rounds. Cloud9 leading this one. 4 being the difference.
And I do think that KRU's composition is going to lend itself to being attack-sided. They have double duelist. We haven't really seen Davies get online necessarily, but Kesnet has been storming out towards the front.
Yeah.
Too easy.
So
Too easy.
I think a pistol round, and this is going to be a serious attempt from KRU to get back into it. I think Cloud9 are going to have to really fend something off here.
Well, ahead of today's matchup, I did get Leaf's thoughts on facing...
Be a bit more aggressive and set yourself up for good retake utility. The desk were having a discussion about whether or not they liked the comp in general. But I just, you know, whenever you're going up against it, you've got to think about the strengths and the weaknesses of various compositions and how you try to attack it.
Yeah.
I think KRU are just going to be going on an all-out offensive.
And they should. The double duelist trends towards it. Makes Split feel more attack-sided these days when it's being ran, and there you have it. Straight into mid. Clearing this one out. Is it going to be a 3-2-1 double drop down to clear it? No, just a nano swarm. Used in response. That was, yeah, just at the top of the ropes there. So pushes it back, but Davies not being dissuaded. Rest of his team now grouping up towards A main, looking for a bit of a split attempt.
And KRU's attack side calling has been similar to this all day. Take an area of the map, and then
They
cut
take the timing.
noise. Wow, that's going to give him a
Watch
chance.
for though. There's a flash. Flicks to the side, does claim the 1 kill. Fully blinded up. Kesnet's there. He's got his back with the space created.
Blocking
Quick to
sight.
jump on it.
Nice, opportunistic.
I got the plan down though. That's going to be the nade and the stun. Is that going to be pushing them back? That was planted for Heaven. They didn't have any control of it. It grants Zephyr an easy one. Pushing now forwards as well with that flash to try and retake that ramp control. Close position. Snags there holding to the wall. He's going to get spotted here potentially. Yeah, he is. I mean, he was just holding, I think, in front of Flowers or something like that, but didn't have screens control. It's falling apart before our very eyes with Klaus stunned up low enough. It's run and gun that finishes it.
I like the idea there from KRU in terms of, you know, finding that first pick, dodging the showstopper, flashing, getting the kill into Heaven. But the plan for Heaven, there's no post plant set up to push screens or push ramp and actually play off that. There's no lurker coming through mid. It doesn't really make too much sense to me, especially when you don't have that space and grant Zephyr a free kill on the planter. And I think KRU needed the pistol to get back into this.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair to say. At this point, Cloud9 sailing away with it, aren't they? Would have probably preferred to try and make this, you know, not as close, not as
Let's go.
distances in terms of where we are right now, sitting at this map number 3.
It's one of those bizarre matches where both teams would have preferred to win in 2.
Yeah.
Even though only one team really had the opportunity.
Right now in charge. Hoping a dream with Kesnet taking that first shot towards mid, but no casualties. Now, again, creeping, contact play up towards the side. Watching all the angles here. Catches Rooney while he's jiggling, but not enough to get the kill. And with all that going on, putting a stop as well to any sort of lurks that might be occurring. Lovely flash to try and re-peek, but Kesnet, I mean, that's a great shot in itself. Dropping down now to stun to push it away. Jake, he needs help. A relief from the pressure, surely. Run and gun does it again. Klaus is there with the stingers, working, magic working, everything. Plant now starting to go down. Dash to reposition. Players are low, players are weak. Have to find these shots, they have to find their heads. Close to the corner, blinded up again. Kesnet, 26. That's his health, that's all he's got. And they know how low he is. Cloud9. Love to do that. Toying with their food is what it feels like, but it's just smart play. Jump around the corner, cut up the angles.
I thought you meant shooting the body.
Well, they do like to do that as well, yeah. Embodiment of North America, really. Just that pure disrespect.
It definitely is. KRU are going to have to start the comeback now if they want any chance here at winning the series. Because it feels like these first two maps were something special that they brought out. And now it's back to normal. And I'm afraid we've seen this all season long from KRU. They've had chances to win matches, and then they've let it slip away. Sometimes in heartbreaking fashion, like on map 1 on Lotus, and sometimes they're just getting smoked.
Yeah.
At the moment, it's looking like a smoking. The Cloud9 bonus round, though, does not have too much weaponry behind it. But when you have Jake and Rooney on sheriffs and the others on weapons they can spray with, any round is winnable.
It just feels winnable, doesn't it?
Any round
We've
is
seen it too often.
Far too often. They've broken the Valorant economy.
Breaking that Trailblazer early and getting out with his life. Zelsis. That does a lot, actually. It means they have to really, if they want to try and push through mid-clear to close corners, but now you might see another fight taking place. It's a fault line off the contact of their own. They want to take the fight to them. Flash around the side. It's almost perfect there. Nax was fully blinded up. Still returns with a kill. And Kesnet's there as well to answer back whenever there was a follow-up.
Gonna put a lot of pressure on Rooney now, anchoring from this back map kind of area. Got a couple of flashes, but that's usually only gonna be good for one flash re-peek.
Here we go. Moving through, no connection there. Slide off angle.
Zeppa's getting ready to flood in.
And what can you do here? No way! What a shot! Maybe opened it up.
Last
Angles
player
watch for.
standing.
Stinger doesn't win that.
Spike planted.
Even with the headshot.
Yeah. Sometimes it feels like it does. Shots rattled. Kesnet contains it. It's okay. Heard that Vamos from across the stage. They needed it, KRU. They needed that.
And no damage to the economy. They come out fairly clean. They're dodging a lot of this breach utility very nicely. It was something that Valen was talking about on the desk right before we went into this map, that the supportive utility has just not quite been predicting the places that KRU is playing that often. That can be one of the struggles with playing against a team that's much more loose. They don't really adhere to the same timings that the other top teams do. Like that, for example. Kesnet just swings out at the beginning behind his own Viper wall. He's not even really got proper vision.
Yeah, I mean, he feels like he's getting some of these kills just granted to him.
But when you're as good as Kesnet, yeah, sometimes you do just get him.
Flex it as well. That raw
Delivered on your
skill.
doorstep.
Yeah.
He's got 21 kills in 16 rounds. But we're still waiting for somebody else on KRU to come and help him.
But we know this play style from KRU now. We've been watching it for a couple of maps. They get the first pick. They don't rush into things. Slowing it all the way to a crawl. What more can they get from it? It's sometimes worked against them, actually. I will say in a lot of these rounds, they're not as proactive at taking space or another area of the map, and they let the clock be their worst enemy.
Yeah, we haven't exactly seen rounds tossed away with 10 seconds left or something, but they've certainly missed out on a few key opportunities by playing this slowly. I think broadly speaking, though, it has thrown Cloud9 off.
Yeah. Hard to get a grasp on that. Smoke drop. That's supposed to be giving a bit of coverage as well to the players who are anchoring Satchel down to the side. Zeppa's good for just the one, but eventually removed. Davies in the fight, active. Snakebite is great. Nagset clearing that back corner so Jake could not anchor.
Spike
His
planted.
post-plant positioning is looking a lot better now for KRU. No one really grouped up towards the back of the site. A lot of angles watched for here. Flash to reposition. They hear this from Kesnet. Zelsis knows he's there. Jump spotting. No one's watching that one. Takes an attempt of it. He was thinking that Kesnet was going to re-peek and try and get that one, but he doesn't take the fight. Spray transfer, not good enough. Double face. Is it there? Rooney reloading. Close to the corner. No confidence from Melty. It's getting so scrappy. But the pellets of the shorty will do it.
And that is a massive round for KRU to get. It seriously turbo boosts this comeback. It knocks Cloud9's economy back down, and they're not the best team to try and get the easy rounds against, but actually so far, KRU have been handling it relatively well.
Enemy was punished.
And the gun round success is there. They're finding the first kills, and they're being able to slow the round down and then end in an exec. 5v4, plant down. It's all been quite formulaic, but very good, and it all starts with these first clashes, the early engagements, of which Cloud9's trying to take one here in B.
Yeah, and you're just not going to be favored. Too many positions to hide.
But also,
Flashes them, I guess, then.
great shot by Melzer.
Yeah, and to react to that. That's the crew now. Making sure that they group up. They're leaving Nags just to lurk towards A, or at least hold that ground so there's no more repushing attempts. But do they anticipate this? This is Rooney taking contact, spots this one out. He's buying time. There is the anticipation, but does it even matter? Zephyr again. The Stingers, no, Nade will clear him. Takes him out of that position. Pull as well to see if they can punish. Aftershock is a bit delayed. Rooney scampering, running away, trying to play for his life. There's a fault line there. Leaf attempted to assist Kisnitz. When he's like this, just looks unstoppable. Feels like it doesn't slow anything down, even when he knows he's against the ecos. Just empowers him more. He's not worried about giving away weapons. Not worried about losing fights.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot about Crew getting an early advantage and then slowing the round down. They did the opposite there. They got the advantage and barreled into B once they cleared up those players in B main. And they know that B is going to be a lot easier.
Yeah.
If you've pushed out B main, you don't normally have many players also anchoring the site.
Gun here.
So I think at the moment they're reading the Cloud9 eco plays really nicely too. They recognized instantly that Rooney's attempt in B main was a bait for Zephyr around the corner. I'm not sure the first player falls, but they actually dealt with it lovely. And now coming into the next round, they have a showstopper, they have a cosmic divide that they can use to go for some kind of big hit.
So to Cloud9. The war chest is full with ultimates. All 5 online this upcoming round. What better way to put a stop to this run that Crew have got on? String of rounds.
Nags is also 1 away from his ult, and that's basically all 10.
Yeah.
And Cloud9 are going to take a tactical timeout here to discuss the next round coming up, because if Cloud9 lose it, both teams are going to invest a ton of ults here, because it's a massive swing round. And if Cloud9 lose it, that's a disaster. They're then creeping ever closer to this being an even score. And like we said, Crew's comp, it has looked like it's going to be attack-sided. So you do not want to be on the less favored side at an even scoreline when you're so favored in this match. And I think this bears reiterating because the game has either been close or Crew have been in the lead the entire time. And there could not be a larger gulf between these two teams. Cloud9 is second in the standings right now, but almost everybody is power ranking them at the #1 spot.
Yeah.
That seems to be community consensus, not just a hot take from the analysts. And at the bottom, Crew are literally at the bottom of the tables, although most people are putting MIBR below them. But either way, that's top 2 versus bottom 2, no matter which way you slice it. And you're expecting, yeah, okay, Americas has had some parity. Yes, the games have been close. But surely this isn't, and yet it has.
Yeah.
And not even just close. Crew have been in the lead for the first 2 maps. Significant leads.
A fire lit under them. Last chance in the split to do some damage to a team that's just been rolling over most of the opposition. I mean, you think about the amount of one-sided games that Cloud9 have had. But here we go, grouped up for Crew. Nothing to match them on the opposite side. It's a cosmic divide and a showstopper! How do they see that?
Wow.
Is Zephyr just satcheling away?
Yeah, just sent into B heaven, and it bounces off the wall and it splashes onto Zephyr. So that takes him out. So there's no showstopper to try and get back into this on the retake.
That's big. But Viper's bit drop down Seekers as well. They have this lockdown. This is going to clear the way onto the side.
They have nade.
Stretch into the back of the side. They do have a nade, but can they break it?
They're not even going for it.
Dog in their face. Stunned. Rolling Thunder now. Might be the next layer to it. Aftershock in the corner. Yeah, that's to try and punish. Nags is feeling the heat. He's feeling all of it. Jumped in his face. Tries to wrangle his rifle down to collect a few more. There's the nade. Plants coming through. It's half. Stuck onto the defuse. Cosmic divide in their face. They have to play up here. Time running out. Someone has to stick this as a pull in their face. Rooney. He's left scrambling for answers. And there's none in sight. The right answer, the right approach. Crew invest in all those ultimates, finding the opening picks. Now they lose everybody, but they take the round.
No worries.
And their economy's in a great spot, so that really doesn't matter. There's the first pick coming through. And Zeppa has barely died first in this map whatsoever.
Yeah.
And yet him going down means no showstopper. And the way in which they play the post plants here from KRU is delightful. The nade was saved the whole time from Davies, so that stops Leaf from full sticking it when the Cosmic Divide comes through. And then they still have a pull on the spike from Melza that stops the next half from coming through.
Yeah.
They just delayed that excellently. That was everything.
It was everything, wasn't it? I mean, you just look at the state of the ult economy on either side. It's just Zeppa with anything left, and that was just because he was the first def in the previous round, so
9 ults were used.
saved it, yeah.
9 ults were used. And I said how devastating it would be if Cloud9 lost that. Unless they win this Thrifty, it's going to be essentially an even game.
Yeah, that's the painful thing about Cloud9. You want to use these rounds to talk about the storyline, set someone else up, but you have to take them seriously with the Stingers, the Sheriffs.
Yeah, because they've just proven such a formidable danger with them.
A lot of time burnt early. Down to 50 seconds in this round without too much to show for it. It's KRU. Again, that crawl. Not making any noise. Kesnet was just taking the space as much as he was offered.
But these rounds become very dangerous when Zeppa's the only person with an ult online and it's a showstopper. There's 30 seconds left right now. Zeppa's still not rotating yet.
I mean, you're trying to run the time down. Look at this smoke as well. Zelsa's plays inside of it, jumping into the smoke. It's traded. No shorty at play. Flash into the back here.
Now
They can't
Zeppa
get
is
in.
here. Now
22
Zeppa is here.
seconds. Zeppa is here, and the rocket is ready. Unleashed to the side, yet still, it's managed. Put it down before it got really dangerous. And the spike is planted to buy them that extra time to maybe extend it forwards, and that is going to be the case. Jake picked up the rifle in a 1v3. Listen, he's got the money to buy next round. He's going to have that loser's bonus kicking in. Why not go for it? Why not try and put a stop to it? Isn't it there? Jiggle. Closer to Shorty. In the air. Drops him.
What a comeback. What a comeback from KRU so far. Sometimes seen from this team.
The improvements are there. If you just compare this kind of performance versus the rest of the split. Now they're one step away from equalizing the scoreline. One more round. Bit of spam, bit of damage. Davies healed up. Standard play for most teams on this map, just to try and take away that mid control. Okay, that spots him out, stunned. Cloud9 want to try and approach this. I mean, they're taking a fight towards Mail at the same time while this occurs at ramp. Kesnet has the dash though to disengage. Vulnerable, fades away. Celsius, he survives it. And Rooney's there playing anti-flash. Instantaneous. Resetting. He's low, but he still finds the kills, and it's all just being met towards heaven. Spike in the hands of Melza. Too much to do. Too much indeed. Met his match there. The Cloud9 put a stop to it.
It's a really important round for Cloud9 to get on the board, and I love the way that KRU approached it. I think as soon as Kesnet spotted Zelsis stuck in the corner, they send out a snakebite and really try and fight that. Doesn't work, so Kesnet backs off, and the players that were in mid tried to crunch onto Zelsis and onto Rooney. And it was only because Zelsis was able to land that first kill and Rooney dodged a flash that they avoided being crunched there completely. I still think KRU had a great call to go for that, but it didn't work out. Cloud9 outplaying them, dodging the utility pressure. We have so many rounds here before any ults come back in play because they were all used at the same time. These are going to be dry fights, and Jake is in a one-and-done position.
Yeah, close to the corner.
Such a gamble.
He wants to take a fight. I mean, oh, Melza.
And because they're not pressuring him, this stops being a one-and-done. Because he can just pop the smoke up and leave. If they had committed to B, could well have been stuck.
Plays like that steadily become the difference maker. Can barrel rounds out of control, and when Cloud9 are one more away from getting onto that match point, it can make the difference. So it's up to KRU to try and offset it.
This turret takes contact.
Yeah, up into heaven.
Stuns.
Rooney stuns. He's pretty close up to this, though. Is there going to be a gap close? Turret there. No, wasn't holding it. Gets the gun out. Drops down to the ground. Nana swarms on either side of him. Rooney is safe. Waits it out. Bides his time, but there is that return off the fire. There is that trade. Dropping down. So damn dangerous, but it's equalizing on either side. Still down to a 2v3, though.
Safe plant.
Around the corner, has the Seekers in his hand, so Klaus could make something of this one, but the positioning is not good. The health is not good. Zeppa still with the nade as well. He can clear this one all the way through. There it is onto the corner. Klaus lucky to not go down while he was dogging. A pull, a flash. There, Leaf gets it. Leaf finds it. 2 to bring his team up now to that map point, to the match point.
And on Lotus, it only took Cloud9 one single opportunity in order to close it out. It was absolutely heartbreaking. A 12-6 lead from KRU that ended up being finished 15-13 in favor of this Cloud9 squad. How many attempts will it take them now?
Enemy remaining.
Up 12-9 with a chance to just put KRU away.
Yeah.
And give themselves a serious opportunity at being the #1 seed in Americas. Something we haven't talked about too much over the course of this match because it looked like Cloud9 might not even win the game.
Yeah.
But if Cloud9 win just this one next round and secure the victory, they could be at the #1 spot if Leviathan beat Loud later on today.
That'll all be decided at the end of the day here, the matches in Americas, so lots to play for still if you are Cloud9, even though it is up in the air. If you don't know how important that #1 spot is, it means you avoid NRG potentially as an opponent. Obviously, NRG still have to get through the #6 seed before that match is even played, but
NRG are locked in third.
Locked in third, and it's the 2nd seed team that will have to play either that 3rd or 6th team, so that's the way it'll work out. Big deal to try and lock in that top spot in the Americas.
But that also means that Loud are going to be trying their hardest against Leviathan.
Yeah.
So
multiple variables that have to come together.
yeah, absolutely. Nevertheless, the focus remains on this upcoming situation. Cloud9 find themselves in a good spot here. It looked like KRU were making the comeback. They got it all the way to 9-10. And Cloud9 have found some ways of getting back in. These first engagements have not really been going the same decisive way of KRU.
KRU setting up, though. Looks like they want to try and burst into this. Although, Kesnet isn't with them. Kesnet is on the other side of the map.
Yeah.
He's the one watching that A angle, so maybe not.
It's a little bizarre, isn't it? Nags takes the orb, so he's one away from Viper's Pit, but doesn't have the spike. So no guarantee that he gets up to the ult in the round. And that Trailblazer just sees everything in market. It sees that there's nobody there whatsoever. So they're not worried about mid in the slightest. They can go back over to B main. The Cloud9 go for a re-clear in time to realize that this is ending A.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because this entire time, I think Kesnet was just holding, making sure nobody picked up that orb, and maybe holding the line. So they're going to give Nags this orb, I imagine. That's why they were farming it up. There's the flash. That gives Cloud9 info. Forwards, though. Smokes drop down either way. Kesnet is really being forced out of them as well from the Nana Swarms, but they gain control of the site. Now, how do they want to play it? Spike in the hands of Nags. Safe plan as well. He will get that ult line, assuming he's not pushed off of it. Made close. Fight taken. Fight won for Zelsis. Gobbles that one up. No fine in sight. Now we see the pit. Might play a portion here with the lockdown to back them away. Cloud9 are not wasting any time. They want to take the fights and they force them. It's so unfavorable right now. KRU need a miracle. They need to find the fight. They need to react to this, and they just don't do it. In the blink of an eye, it's over like that. KRU looked formidable, but ultimately it was Cloud9 that woke up, and it's Cloud9 that take the series.